The electric sander buzzed in my hands as I smoothed the oak board for the third time. Still not right. After 5 years of making furniture in this backyard shop, I still couldn't make a simple tabletop smooth enough to satisfy myself. Maybe that's what happens when you go from designing expensive buildings to making kitchen tables. I looked at my phone. 2:47 p.m. Maya would be home from kindergarten in an hour, and I hadn't even started cooking the chicken for dinner yet. Then I noticed something, not on my phone, but on the family iPad, on the workbench next to my coffee mug. A message slid down on the screen. Withdrawal, $5,000. Account, N private. I frowned, set the sander down, and reached for the iPad. But the message disappeared. Just gone. I stared at the blank screen, my thumb hovering over the button. Outside, the rain hit the roof hard, loud in the sudden quiet after I'd turned off the sander. I unlocked the tablet and checked notifications. Nothing. Opened the bank app. It asked for a password. That was strange. It never asked for a password when I was at home. It was supposed to stay logged in. I typed in the password we've used for years. Our joint account. The only one we had since we married 9 years ago. Wrong password. Account temporarily locked. What the heck? I said, feeling my heart beat faster. I grabbed my phone and opened the bank app there. Same thing. Password changed. I was locked out of our accounts. The accounts that, to be honest, were mostly funded by Nora's paychecks while I stayed home with Maya, trying to feel useful making cutting boards nobody really wanted. The rain got louder. Or maybe it was just my breathing. Hey, baby! I'm home! Nora's voice rang through the house, bright and warm, but tired at the same time. I heard her heels click across the floor, her bag drop on the bench by the door, and Maya shout, "Mommy!" as she ran over. I stood by the stove, stirring the chicken piccata, trying to act normal. Trying to be normal. "Smells great in here," Nora said, stepping into the kitchen with Maya holding tight to her leg. She looked perfect, as always. Navy suit, hair still neat despite the rain, light makeup making her look strong yet soft. She'd gained a little weight since Maya was born, and it suited her. At 33, she looked better than when we met in college. She crossed the kitchen and kissed my cheek. Her perfume was different, not the usual one I bought her for Christmas. Something lighter. Citrus. "You look tired, Eli," she said, running her hand down my arm. "I already told you, don't worry about the house stuff. I take care of us." There it was again. That phrase, "I take care of us." She said it more and more lately, and each time felt like it made me smaller inside. "Hey, so, weird thing," I said, trying to keep my voice casual as I put the chicken on a plate. "I tried to log into the bank app today to check the electricity bill, and it said my password was wrong." "Did you change it?" Nora was pouring a glass of wine, her back to me. Her hand didn't stop or hesitate or show that I'd caught her in something. "Oh yeah, a security update," she said smoothly, turning around with the glass and that perfect smile. "I got an email from the bank about some data hack at another place. They said to change all passwords right away. I'll text you the new one after dinner, okay? Don't want to forget." "Sure," I said. "No problem." She never sent the password. I waited until Nora was asleep, until I could hear her breathing slow and calm next to me in the dark. Then I slipped quietly out of bed, grabbed my phone, and walked down the hallway to what we called the office. It was really just Maya's extra playroom with a desk in the corner. I sat down at the computer I had set up when we moved in here. I had connected it to the internet and set up the smart home system, back when I still hoped I could find some design jobs from home and feel like myself again. The login page loaded. I signed in using a password Nora didn't know existed. There's something you should know about me. Before I became a stay-at-home dad, working on furniture in the backyard shed, I was good at my job. Really good. I needed to understand how things worked, how buildings were connected. When we built this house 5 years ago, I made sure I knew every device and connection, every bit of data moving through our network. I opened the device logs, found Nora's phone, started looking at what she had been doing online. Every day at 2 p.m., her phone connected to an encrypted messaging app. Not texts, not email, not an app I recognized. Something called Whisper. I grabbed my own phone and looked it up. Whisper. Secure communications for professionals. My hands shook. I glanced at the toy blocks scattered near my feet. Maya's alphabet blocks. The letter D stared back at me in the light of the screen. D for daddy, D for destroyed, D for... What is my wife hiding from me? I checked further back. 2 months of daily connections to that app. Always at 2:00 p.m. Always lasting 15 minutes. It was Saturday morning and Nora was at her spin class. I was supposed to be doing laundry. I was. But when I went to put away Nora's dry cleaning, I found something. A crumpled receipt in the pocket of her gray pants. The ones she said she wore on Thursday, the day she told me she had an all-day board meeting downtown. The receipt read, The Monarch Lounge, the Grand Hotel. Thursday, May 14th, 2026, 2:15 p.m. 2 drinks, 47 I sat on the edge of our bed. Our bed. The bed where we had shared a quiet, close moment just last night. She whispered how much she loved me, how lucky she was to have me, how I was her support. 2 drinks. She had been at a hotel lounge having drinks with someone else, while I was at home, making snacks for Maya and helping her with alphabet homework. The thought hit me hard. I felt sick. I ran to the bathroom and bent over the sink, trying to hold it together, but there was nothing to bring up because I hadn't eaten yet. I was too busy being the perfect house husband, making breakfast for everyone else while I only had coffee. When I came back, I stared at the receipt for a long time. Then I took a picture with my phone and put it back where I found it. That night, Nora could tell something was wrong. I don't know how she knew. Maybe I wasn't close to her enough. Maybe I was too quiet. Maybe, after 9 years together, she just could read me like a book. We sat on the couch, a Netflix show playing quietly in the background, but neither of us really watching. Maya was asleep upstairs. The only other sound was the dishwasher in the kitchen. Elias? Nora said softly, turning toward me. She took my hand with both of hers. I feel like you're pulling away from me. Like something is wrong. Please talk to me. I looked at her face. The same eyes I had fallen for at a college coffee shop 12 years ago. The same eyes that looked at me in the hospital when we lost our first baby. The same eyes that filled with joy when Maya was born. The same eyes that looked at me with so much sadness 5 years ago when everything fell apart. I'm fine, I said. Just tired. No, you're not fine, she said, her voice soft and breaking just a little. Just enough to seem fragile. After all we went through 5 years ago, Eli, after Vance ruined your career, after you had to stop working as an architect, after I had to take over earning money and you stayed home with Maya, I thought we were stronger now. But lately, it feels like you blame me. And just like that, she changed the subject, made it about her feelings, made me feel bad for even thinking that. I don't blame you, I lied. I need you to be my support, she said quietly, holding my hands tight. Work has been so hard lately. The new client is a nightmare. There's a problem at the firm that could get worse if I don't handle it right. I need to know when I come home, you'll be here. Steady. Mine. I pulled her close because that's what you do when your partner is hurting, even when you think she might not be telling the whole truth. Even when you have a receipt showing she was out with someone else when she said she was in a meeting. I'm here, I whispered into her hair. I'm always here. Because where else was there to go? Maya's iPad had a tracking feature called Find My Device. We set it up in case she lost it at school or somewhere else. What Nora didn't know was that she had signed into her iCloud account on Maya's iPad about 6 months ago when her phone died and she needed to check an important email. She never signed out. That meant I could track her car, just like I could track Maya's iPad. Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Nora texted me. Crisis at work. Going to be late. Don't wait for dinner. Love you. I put Maya in my truck, told her we were going on an ice cream trip. Then I followed the blue dot on the screen that showed Nora's Mercedes. It led me to a motel on the edge of town. Not a nice place. Not fancy at all. Just the kind of place people visit when they want to be hidden. I parked at the far side of the lot and turned the engine off. Maya was in the back seat, iPad in hand, deeply focused on a Disney game, noise-canceling headphones on her head. The rain started again. Of course it did. It had been raining for 3 days straight, still falling now, like the world was trying to wash something clean that couldn't be cleaned. Nora's Mercedes sat near the motel entrance, engine running quietly. My heart hammered so hard I thought I might faint. This was it, the moment I was both scared of and waiting for. I was about to see my wife meet someone better than me, richer than me, more successful than me, someone I felt I could never be again. I grabbed my phone and opened the camera. My hands shook so badly I could barely keep it still. A figure stepped out of the rain. A man. Tall. Wearing a long coat like a character from an old detective movie. He walked straight to Nora's driver's side window. She rolled it down. The streetlight hit his face. I froze. It wasn't who I expected. Not a lover. It was Vance. Vance Morrison, my old mentor, the man who stole millions from our firm 5 years ago, the man whose crime ruined my name by connection, the man who forced me to give up architecture and stay home with Maya because no company would hire me after the scandal, the man who supposedly ran away to Mexico and vanished. I watched as Nora handed him a manila envelope, thick, heavy, like an envelope full of money. Vance smiled and patted the roof of her car, like they were old friends. Like this was normal. Then he walked off into the rain. Nora sat still for a moment. Her face showed in the rearview mirror. It wasn't the face of someone who had just paid a blackmailer. It wasn't scared or upset. It was cold, empty, calm and in control. She rolled up her window, started the car, and drove away. I sat in my truck in the dark. The rain was beating down on the roof. My daughter was playing games in the back seat, not knowing what was going on. My whole world broke apart in a way I couldn't fix. My wife wasn't cheating. She was paying the man who had ruined my life. Which meant, oh no. It meant she had always been paying him. Which meant he hadn't ruined my life at all. She had. I sat there for a long time with the engine off. The rain hit the windshield so hard it sounded like stones. Maya was asleep in the back seat with her headphones on. She didn't know that her father's world had just fallen and changed into something darker in just 30 seconds. My hands held the steering wheel tightly. I was shaking. Nora had destroyed my career. Not Vance. Nora, my wife. The woman who had held me when I cried 5 years ago, when the investigation began. The woman who had whispered, "We'll get through this together," while she was behind everything that happened. The woman who looked at me with pity when I had to tell Maya that Daddy wouldn't be an architect anymore and that he would stay home to take care of her. She felt sorry for me, but it was for something she caused. I started to laugh, but it was broken and strange, like glass scraping on stone. I put my hand over my mouth so I wouldn't wake Maya. "Damn," I whispered. "Damn, damn, damn." The part of me that worked as an architect kicked in before I even knew it. That's what I do. That's who I am, even if no one pays me anymore. I see structures, how things fit together, how weight spreads, what keeps things standing or makes them fall. I saw Nora's life clearly now. She built her perfect life on top of mine that was ruined, used my failure as the base, my shame as her strength, my weakness as her control. But here's the thing about foundations. When you know how they are made, you also know where to press to make the whole thing fall apart. I pulled out of the parking lot, driving home through the storm. Maya didn't wake up until I reached the driveway. She yawned, took off her headphones, and asked if we could do this again tomorrow. "Sure, baby," I said, my voice sounding almost normal. "We can do it again tomorrow." I carried her inside, put her to bed, and kissed her forehead. I stood in her doorway for a long time, watching her sleep. She was perfect, and didn't know that her mother was not who she seemed, and that her father was about to change too. Then I went down to the kitchen and stood by the window, looking out at my workshop in the backyard. It was wet and dark in the rain. I started thinking and planning, not of a building this time, of fixing what she had broken. At 6 in the morning, the rain was still falling. I had been awake for hours, really hadn't slept. I lay beside Nora, listening to her breathe, watching her face in the dark. I thought about that cold, empty look from the mirror. I got up before the alarm, put on my work clothes, and went outside to the shed. The oak tabletop was still on the bench where I had left it. I picked up the sander and turned it on. The vibration felt different this time, strong and sure. The wood grain opened up under the sandpaper, smooth and clean. I planned to sand this table until it was perfect. Then I would start on everything else. At 6:45, I went back inside. I took a shower, put on clean clothes, and made coffee. The good kind. The French roast Nora liked but never bought because she said it was too expensive, even though she was spending a lot on Vance. I brought the coffee to her in bed. I set it on the nightstand and kissed her forehead like I had every morning for 9 years. "Morning, beautiful," I said. She stirred, opened her eyes, and smiled at me with that soft, sleepy look. It used to fill me with love. Now, it made me want to yell. You're up early," she said quietly. "What time is it?" "A little after 7. I wanted to work in the shop before Maya woke up." I sat on the bed and took her hand. "Hey, I'm sorry about yesterday. About asking for the bank password and then acting strange all night. You were right. I was stressed for no real reason." Her eyes got sharper just for a moment. She was watching me, looking for anything that might show I knew more than I said. "It's okay, baby," she said, squeezing my hand. "I get it. It's hard for you sometimes, depending on me for money. But we are a team, right? What's mine is yours. What's mine is yours, except for the bank password, except for who ruined my career, except for what you were really doing with Vance Morrison in those motel parking lots." "Actually, I figured out the password," I said, casually pulling my phone from my pocket. "I remembered you said something about using Maya's birthday in a different way. So I tried a few options and got it on the 3rd try. Hope that's okay." I watched her face. She didn't miss a beat. "Of course it's okay," she said with a small laugh. "I should have told you sooner. I've been so distracted with this work problem. My mind is a mess." I kissed her, deeper than I had in months. My hand moved into her hair. She responded, pulling closer like I used to make her feel wanted. But now it all felt like a lie. "Tell me more," I said, after pulling back. "This client problem, is it getting better?" She sighed and leaned back against the pillows. "Not really. It's a big company trying to hide a crisis. There are serious accusations against their CEO. My firm is handling the public side, trying to shape what people believe, but it's a disaster. The CEO is rude and only makes things worse." I nodded, feeling sorry for her. "Sounds tough. No wonder you've been working so late." "Yeah," she said. "I'm sorry about that. I know it puts more on you with Maya." "I don't mind," I lied. "That's why I'm here." She smiled and touched my face. "I'm going to take a shower. Can you please make sure Maya gets her vitamins with breakfast? I forgot yesterday." "Of course." I watched her go to the bathroom. I heard the water turn on. Then I moved quickly. The tiny cameras were almost invisible, smaller than an eraser. I had ordered them months ago when I first thought something was wrong, when I still thought it was just a simple affair. They had been waiting in my workshop. I put one in the bedroom vent, another in the hallway near our room, and a third in her home office. It took less than 10 minutes. Then I went to the router closet and changed the home network settings. Every new alert on Nora's phone quietly showed up on the extra phone I bought yesterday when I left the motel. Every message, every email, every text. She thought she was safe because she blocked me from the bank accounts. But she didn't know I was behind all the digital connections in this house. By the time she finished her shower, I was downstairs making breakfast for Maya. Scrambled eggs, toast with butter, orange juice, vitamins next to her plate. "Morning, Pumpkin," I said when Maya walked into the kitchen, still sleepy. "Morning, Daddy." She climbed into her chair. "Are you making pancakes today?" "Not today, sweetheart. But how about this weekend we make a big batch and freeze them? Then you can have them anytime you want." "Okay." She happily started eating her eggs. Then she asked, "Daddy, why does Mommy's new perfume smell like oranges when she says it's roses?" I stopped what I was doing and slowly turned to her. "What do you mean, baby?" "Yesterday, when she picked me up from school, I asked what her perfume was. She said it was roses, but it smelled like oranges, like the bathroom cleaner." I squatted down beside her. "Maybe Mommy just mixed them up." She shrugged. "Maybe. but Mommy usually doesn't get confused. No, she doesn't. I stood quietly, my thoughts rushing. Kids see more than we think. Maya had noticed her mother wasn't being truthful, even if she didn't understand why. 5 minutes later, Nora came into the kitchen. She looked calm and ready for another busy day of dealing with problems and secret payments to the man who supposedly caused all the trouble. "Do you have time for coffee before you go?" I asked. "Just a quick cup." She poured herself a travel mug and added cream. "Oh, by the way, I have a work dinner tonight. I probably won't be home until 9 or 10. Is that okay?" "Of course," I said. "Take your time. Maya and I will have a movie night." She smiled, kissed Maya's head, then kissed my cheek. "You're the best, Eli. I don't know what I'd do without you." I watched as she left, heard her car start, and saw her back out of the driveway. Then I pulled out my phone and checked the extra one. Sure enough, there was already a message. "Whisper, new message from V. V. Vance." I opened it. The message was already decrypted by the linked network. "We need to talk. She's getting suspicious. This could become risky." I looked at the message for a while. Then I deleted it from the extra phone, but left it on hers exactly as it should be. Maya was laughing at cartoons in the living room. I walked to the kitchen counter, picked up the newspaper, flipped to the travel section, and casually browsed the ads. "Hey, Maya," I called out. "Want to go get ice cream after school today?" "Yeah." "Great. We could go to that place near the Grand Hotel downtown. They have really good chocolate chip." I kept an eye on Nora's phone on the counter, waiting for a reply. Nothing came. When she got home that night at 9:30, I noticed her hand was a bit shaky while she poured her wine. She casually asked if I had said anything about the Grand Hotel earlier. "Did I?" I frowned. "I don't remember. Why?" "No reason," she said, too calmly. "I just thought I heard you talking about it with Maya." "Maybe. I've been pretty distracted lately." I smiled. "Must be where I get it from." She smiled back, but her hand still trembled. That night, after she fell asleep, I went back to the workshop. The rain had just stopped, but the air still felt heavy and wet. I stood quietly by the workbench. I ran my hand over the oak table. It was smooth now. Perfect. 5 years of practice had taught me just how hard to press, how to read the grain, how to turn rough wood into something beautiful. I had built Nora's perfect life using my mistakes. Now I planned to build my freedom using her fears. I leaned close to the wood and softly said the words that would guide me for months. "I'm going to make you see what you built." The wood didn't answer, but it didn't have to. I already knew. I was making a mirror. For the next 3 days, I became the perfect husband. Even better than perfect. I paid attention without being too close, helped without being annoying. I asked about her work with real interest, cooked her favorite meals, gave her space when she wanted it, and offered comfort even when she didn't ask. All the while, I watched her through the cameras. I saw her check her phone 17 times in one evening. I saw her walk back and forth in her office when she thought I was busy. I saw her look at herself in the bathroom mirror with a face I couldn't read. Was it worry, fear, or just the tiredness of keeping so many secrets? On Thursday morning, I printed a copy of an old hotel receipt from my phone, the one I had taken a picture of when I found it in her pocket. Same date, same time, same 2 drinks. But this copy went into the pocket of my gray jacket, the one I wore only a couple of times a year and kept in the back of our closet. I waited. Friday evening, Nora was putting away laundry. I was working in the shop, but really I was watching her on the bedroom camera feed from my phone. She found the receipt. Her hand stopped moving as she reached for a hanger. Slowly, she pulled out the paper, read it once, then again. Her face changed quickly, confused, recognizing it, doubtful, thinking it through, fearful, then angry. She crushed the receipt in her hand, stood still for a moment, staring somewhere else. Then she smoothed the paper and took a picture of it with her phone. Finally, she put the receipt back where she'd found it. I smiled quietly in the dark shop. "Welcome to the mirror, Nora." Saturday morning, I woke to a message on my burner phone, a small bank transfer from our joint account to Nora's private account, just like the one I had seen disappear on her iPad on the first day. This time, I made sure it also disappeared from her phone. I had set up a program to catch certain alerts to her device and delete them before she could see them. Simple, smart. The same trick she probably used on me. With help from Vance, long ago. At breakfast, she checked her phone and frowned, then checked again. Is everything okay? I asked, pouring her more coffee. Yeah, I just thought I saw a notification, but it isn't there. She put the phone down, picked it up once more. Maybe I'm imagining things. You're not imagining things, I said softly. You're just tired. You've been working non-stop. She looked at me carefully. Really looking. Searching for something. Eli, do you ever feel like something is off? Like things aren't quite right, but you can't say why? I set the coffee pot down and took her hand. My face showed only care and love. Baby, I think we should see someone. Talk to a professional. What do you mean? A counselor. Someone for couples. Lately, I feel like we're drifting apart. I don't want that. I can't lose you, Nora, you and Maya. You're everything to me. If you're stressed, if we feel distant, maybe talking to someone can help us find our way back. She stared at me. I could see she was thinking, trying to decide if I meant it or if it was something else. You want to try couples therapy? She said slowly. I want us to be okay, I said. I want to make sure we're strong, that we can face anything life sends our way, don't you? She couldn't say no, not without looking strange, not without showing there was something to hide. Okay, she said at last. Yes, let's try it. I think it's a good idea. I pulled her close, felt her relax against me, heard her sigh as if she'd just escaped a problem. She didn't know what was coming. Our first therapy session was on Wednesday afternoon. Dr. Sarah Chen. In her mid-40s, sharp eyes, serious voice. Her office was in downtown. One of those places with modern paintings on the walls and a couch that was a little stiff, so you couldn't get too comfortable. Nora took the lead right away. Of course she did. I think we're here because we've gone through a lot, and I want to keep our connection strong, she said, smiling at Dr. Chen. 5 years ago, my husband faced a very hard time. He was an architect, very good at his job, very successful, but his company was caught in a money scandal. He didn't steal anything, but people still blamed him. He lost his career. It was very hard for both of us. Dr. Chen nodded and took notes. How did that change your relationship? It changed everything, Nora said, her voice soft and hurt. I had to be the one who earns money. Eli stayed home with our daughter. I think sometimes he's upset with me for working, for being the one in charge. I try to understand, but it's tough. I'm always tired, and sometimes I feel like he's pulling away from me. I sat and listened as she told her version of the story. The tired wife working hard, the husband who felt hurt and blamed. Dr. Chen looked at me. Eli, what do you think? I took a breath and let it out slowly. I looked at Nora with love and pain in my eyes. I don't blame her, I said quietly. I'm thankful. She saved us when I couldn't. She kept our family going. I know I'm lucky. I paused. But sometimes I do feel like she's far away. Like there's a wall between us now that wasn't there before. And I wonder if maybe she's upset with me for not being the man I was. That's not true, Nora said fast. Eli, I don't blame you. I love you. I know, I said. I'm just saying how I feel sometimes. Isn't that why we're here, to be honest? Dr. Chen wrote something down. Nora, do you ever feel upset with Eli? No, Nora said, but her hand held the chair's arm a little tighter. Maybe sometimes, but not upset in a bad way. Upset about what? Nora paused. I saw her choosing words carefully. That I have to handle everything, she said. Money, decisions, stress at work. Sometimes it feels like I'm carrying all of it alone and Eli's just doing his own thing, making things in the backyard, playing with Maya, living a life I can't have because I'm too busy keeping us afloat. There it was, the truth behind the words. She was upset with me, not for being hurt, but for staying home, for being with our daughter, for living a life she had pushed me into but may have wanted herself. That sounds hard, Dr. Chen said. Have you talked to Eli about this? I try, Nora said, but he gets quiet. I didn't get quiet. I just sat there and let her say what she needed to say. The session lasted 50 minutes. By the end, Dr. Chen suggested we come back every week and try to talk more openly. In the car going home, Nora was silent. I could feel her worry like waves coming off her. That went well, right? I said. I think Dr. Chen really understands. Yeah, Nora said. It was good, but her hands were tight on the steering wheel, showing her stress. The next day, Maya came home from school with a drawing folded in her backpack. I found it while helping her with her homework. It showed 2 stick figures under rain clouds, one tall, one short, and a third, taller figure wearing a coat. My heart stopped. What's this, sweetie? I asked, trying to sound calm. Maya looked up from her spelling. That's you and me in the rain. And that's the man you were watching. What man? The man in the parking lot when we got ice cream. You were watching him from the car. I saw you. Oh no. She had been awake. She saw Vance. She saw me watching. You're very observant, I said, folding the drawing gently. Can I keep this? Sure, Daddy. I put it in my pocket. My heart felt both heavy and full of anger. My little girl had seen her dad's world falling apart in a motel parking lot, and she drew it like it was just another day. She saw everything, and she would remember. That night, after Nora went to bed, I went downstairs and made pancakes. It was almost midnight, but I needed something to do with my hands. Maya came to the bottom of the stairs in her pajamas, following the smell. Can't sleep, pumpkin? I heard you cooking. She climbed up on a stool by the kitchen counter. Are those pancakes? They are. Want some? Yes, please. I made her a plate. We sat together in the quiet kitchen, eating pancakes with syrup and butter. For a few moments, everything felt almost normal. Daddy? Maya said, chewing her pancake. Yeah, baby. Why does Mommy's new perfume smell like oranges when she says it's roses? I put my fork down. What do you mean? She told me her perfume was called Rose Garden or something. But it doesn't smell like roses. It smells like oranges. Like bathroom cleaner. I looked at my daughter. This small person who noticed everything. Who saw the truth, even when the adults around her were full of stories and secrets. Maybe Mommy just likes different smells, I said carefully. People change their minds about things they like. But why would she say it's roses if it's not? Good question. I don't know, sweetie. Maybe she got mixed up. Maya shrugged and ate more pancakes. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. Kids see the truth. Adults try to hide. Maya was watching her mother's words and me trying not to notice, while she quietly asked late-night questions and drew what she saw. I had to keep her safe. From this, from Nora, and from what I was becoming. Hey, Maya? Yeah? You know you're my rock, right? The best thing in my life. She grinned, syrup on her chin. You're my rock too, Daddy. Something inside me broke open. Love and anger mixed together. This was my strongest link. Our late-night pancake time with my daughter who saw too much, but loved simply. I would do anything to keep Nora from taking her away. Over the next week, Nora kept checking her phone all the time. Every beep and buzz made her grab it quick, like it would disappear if she didn't look right then. So I started forgetting small things. Things she told me earlier. Did you pick up my dry cleaning? She asked. You asked me to pick up dry cleaning? I frowned. I don't remember you saying that. I told you this morning at breakfast. Are you sure? I don't think you did. But maybe I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Or, Eli, I told you Maya's parent-teacher meeting is on Friday. You did? When? 2 days ago? Huh. I don't remember. My bad. Little things. Small gaps. Little moments where I wasn't sure if I'd said something or not. That's what she had done to me for 5 years. Made me doubt myself. Feel like I was losing my mind. Now she was the one looking confused, unsure, worried. The mirror was working. And I was just getting started. I could see it in the way Nora checked her phone over and over during breakfast. The way her hand shook a tiny bit when she poured her coffee. The way she looked at me as if she was trying to solve a puzzle she didn't even know she had made. Good. I sat across from her at the kitchen table, eating my toast, watching her break down little by little. Maya was upstairs brushing her teeth, singing a song from a new Disney movie, not knowing the silent battle happening downstairs. "You okay?" I asked softly, trying to sound gentle and kind. "You seem distracted." Nora's eyes snapped to mine. "I'm fine. Just thinking about work." "The client problem's still bad?" "Yeah." She put her phone down, then picked it up again. "It's getting worse, actually. The CEO keeps making things harder. Every time we fix something, he does something dumb, and we have to start over." I nodded like I understood. "That sounds really tiring. You sure you don't want to take a day off? I can handle things here." "You could rest." "I can't," she said fast, too fast. "I need to be there. They need me." "I'm sure they do." I took another bite of toast. "But you need to take care of yourself, too. You've been so stressed lately. Forgetting things, getting mixed up. Maybe you should see a doctor, just to make sure everything's okay." Her face got tight. "I'm not forgetting things." "Babe, you forgot Maya's doctor visit last week. And yesterday, you told me 2 different times you'd send me the alarm code for the new security system, but you never did. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm worried." "I didn't forget the doctor visit," she said, but her voice shook a little. "I rescheduled it." "Did you?" "Because the office called me asking why we missed it." I watched her face change. Confused, angry, defensive. She was starting to doubt herself, just like I had for 5 years, while she made me question what was real. "I thought I rescheduled," she whispered. "It's okay," I said softly, reaching across the table to take her hand. "These things happen. You're under so much stress. Maybe we should write things down more. Keep better track. I can help if you want." She pulled her hand back. "I don't need help keeping track of my own life, Eli." "Of course not. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way." Maya bounced into the kitchen, backpack on, ready for school. "I'm ready, Daddy." I stood up and grabbed her lunchbox from the counter. "Let's go, Pumpkin. Say bye to Mommy." "Bye, Mommy." Maya ran over and hugged Nora's leg. Nora's face softened. She kissed the top of Maya's head. "Bye, baby. Have a good day at school." I watched them together and felt that familiar crack in my chest. Love and anger all mixed up. This perfect little person who didn't know that her mother was hiding a darker side. Who thought Mommy and Daddy were just normal, tired parents, dealing with normal problems. "Come on, Maya. We don't want to be late." I drove Maya to school through streets still wet from last night's rain. She talked the whole way about her field trip to the Science Museum, about her friend Emma getting in trouble for talking during quiet time, about wanting a pet hamster but knowing we probably couldn't because of allergies. Typical kid stuff. Nice, simple, normal kid stuff. I dropped her off and watched her run into the building. Then I sat in the truck for a moment before pulling out my extra phone. There were 3 new messages from Vance to Nora, all sent within the last hour. "This is getting out of control. He's acting different. I think he knows something. We need to meet today. I'm not comfortable with this anymore." I read them twice. Then I opened the bank app and checked Nora's private account. Another $5,000 withdrawal dated yesterday. The same day I saw her hand Vance that envelope in the motel parking lot. Regular payments, every 2 weeks for 5 years. I did the math in my head. About $130,000 total. Maybe more if she started paying him before I noticed. I drove to the coffee shop near our house, the one with good Wi-Fi and a quiet corner table. I ordered a large black coffee and a blueberry muffin I didn't plan to eat. Opened my laptop. Time to dig deeper. Until now, I'd been careful, just watching and planting small doubts. But Vance's messages changed that. He was panicked. That meant their situation wasn't stable anymore. I had to understand everything before it all fell apart and caught me in the mess. I started with the embezzlement case from 5 years ago, mostly public records, news articles, court papers. Morrison and Chen, the architecture firm, had been under investigation for misusing client money, $2.3 million missing. Vance Morrison, the senior partner, was the main suspect. They never had enough proof to charge him. The firm shut down. Vance left the country, supposedly to Mexico. Several junior architects, including me, lost work because of the scandal. I had read this before, obviously. I had lived it. But now I looked at it differently. Searching for details I missed the first time, there it was, hidden in one court file, a mention of offshore accounts, fake companies, complicated money routes that made it almost impossible to find where the money went. And the investigator's name, Rebecca Chen, Vance's former business partner. I pulled up Rebecca's LinkedIn profile. After the firm closed, she left architecture. Now she worked as a forensic accountant who specialized in corporate fraud. Interesting. I sent her a message, kept it simple and polite. Ms. Chen, my name is Eli Rainwater. I was a junior architect at Morrison & Chen 5 years ago. I am doing some personal research on the case to understand how it affected my career. Would you be willing to answer a few questions? I understand if you prefer not to. I sent it before I changed my mind. Then I opened a new tab and searched Morrison & Chen embezzlement Nora Rainwater. Nothing came up connecting Nora to the case. Of course not. She was just the junior architect's wife, the partner who stayed strong when things fell apart, the one who had to fix the financial mess while her husband lost everything. Except now I knew that wasn't true. She hadn't fixed the mess. She had made it worse. My phone buzzed. Not the burner phone, my regular one. A text from Nora. Can you pick up Maya from school today? I have a meeting that will run late. I stared at the message. It was 9:47 in the morning. Maya finished school at 2:30 in the afternoon. Nora was already planning to be busy 5 hours from now. That meant she planned to meet Vance. I texted back, "Of course, no problem. Love you." She replied with a heart emoji. I felt like throwing my phone across the coffee shop. Instead, I opened the iPad tracking app. I watched the little blue dot that showed where Nora's Mercedes was. It was downtown, probably at her office. I set an alert to warn me if the car moved more than 5 miles from her work. Then, I went back to my laptop and looked through the home network logs. I scrolled back 6 months and started noting Nora's online habits. Every day at 2 p.m., she connected to the Whisper app for about 15 minutes. Every other Friday, she used the banking app late at night, usually when I was sleeping. Every third week, she sent encrypted files to a server I didn't know. I realized this was no simple mistake or secret. It was planned and done carefully. My coffee was cold, but I drank it anyway. The bitter taste seemed right. At 12:30, my laptop beeped. An email from Rebecca Chen appeared. She wrote, "Mr. Rainwater, I remember you. I'm sorry about what happened to your career. I'd like to talk about the case, but not by email. If you are nearby, I'm free for coffee tomorrow afternoon. Let me know." She gave her phone number. I called her right away. "Rebecca Chen?" I said. Her voice was clear and professional. "Ms. Chen, this is Eli Rainwater. Thank you for replying so fast. Of course, I remember you. You were talented. It was a shame what happened." I took a breath. "I know this might be a strange question, but when you looked into the embezzlement, did my wife's name ever come up?" There was silence, long enough that I thought she had hung up. "Ms. Chen, why do you ask that, Mr. Rainwater?" "Because I think she was involved, and I think she made me the one to blame when everything went wrong." More silence. Then she said, "Can you meet today instead of tomorrow? At a coffee shop on Madison, Brewer's Cup, 2 p.m. I'll be there." She hung up. I stared at my phone, my heart racing. Rebecca Chen knew something she couldn't say by phone, something she needed to tell me face to face. At 1:45, I left the coffee shop and drove downtown. Brewer's Cup was one of those fancy places with brick walls and old-style light bulbs. The baristas acted like it was the most serious job in the world. I ordered coffee and sat at a table near the back, not planning to drink it. Rebecca arrived right at 2 p.m. She was in her late 40s, Asian, wearing a dark blue jacket and carrying a leather briefcase that probably cost more than my truck. She saw me and came over. "Mr. Rainwater, Miss Chen, thanks for meeting me." She sat down across from me. No small talk. "Before I tell you what I know, I need to understand what you already believe. If I guess wrong about why you're here, I could be breaking several privacy rules. I know my wife has been paying Vance Morrison $5,000 every 2 weeks for the last 5 years. Maybe longer. I followed her to a meeting with him. I saw her give him an envelope full of cash in a motel parking lot. And from bank records I looked at, she has paid him about $130,000. Rebecca didn't show much emotion, but I saw her fingers grip her coffee cup tighter. "So you're not guessing," she said. "You have proof. Screenshots, photos, bank records, and the router logs showing secret messages between them for months." "Yes, I have proof." She nodded slowly. Then she took a folder out of her briefcase and set it on the table between us, keeping her hand on it. "What I'm about to tell you comes from the investigation, but it never got shared with the public. There wasn't enough proof to take it to court, and the firm quietly shut down to avoid any trouble. But I knew something wasn't right. The money stuff was too smart for Vance alone. He was a great architect, but really bad with money. Always had been." "Someone helped him," I said. "Your wife helped him." Rebecca slid a folder across the table. She set up the offshore accounts, made the fake companies, moved the money in ways that made it almost impossible to follow. And she did all that while she was still a junior architect there. She had access to client money, project budgets, everything. I opened the folder. Financial papers, account numbers, transfer records, pages and pages showing my wife planned the whole money scheme. "Why?" My voice was rough. "Why would she do this?" Rebecca leaned back. "You were the star, Mr. Rainwater. Everyone at the firm knew it. Your designs were amazing. Customers asked specifically for you. The senior partners even said they wanted to make you a junior partner fast. And Nora? She was good, but not special. And she felt it. She was always in your shadow, just Eli Rainwater's wife, and not known for her own work." A cold feeling settled in my chest. So she hurt my career to feel better about herself. I think she wanted to be the strong one in your marriage. The one who earned the money. The one everyone looked up to. She used Vance because he was careless and greedy enough to take the blame. But she didn't expect him to want money to stay quiet. Rebecca smiled. But it wasn't a happy smile. No, she didn't. That's why she's been losing money for 5 years, paying him off so he wouldn't talk. I closed the folder, my hands trembling. "Why are you telling me this? You said there wasn't enough proof to go after them." "There wasn't enough proof 5 years ago. But if your wife is still paying Vance, if he's still here even though he was supposed to leave, if the money is still moving, that changes things. The time limit to bring charges on the old crimes isn't over. And if I can prove they are still working together to hide things, I might be able to open the case again. You want to go after her?" "I want to go after both of them. They ruined a good firm, hurt many people's reputations. Your career wasn't the only one that ended, Mr. Rainwater. 3 junior architects lost their chance at work. 2 stopped working in the field, completely. One of them died." I looked up sharply. "What?" "Peter Harmon, you remember him?" Peter. Quiet guy. Really good with structures. I had heard he died, but didn't know how. I didn't want to know. It was too close to my own pain. I didn't know it was that. I couldn't finish. His wife found him in their garage. He took his own life. Left a note saying he couldn't face the shame. Couldn't handle not finding work. Your wife ruined him, Mr. Rainwater. Maybe not with her own hands, but she caused it. And she's been living her perfect life since then, making you feel like the failure when she's the one who should be held responsible." I sat there, feeling something inside me change, something deep. I thought this was about getting back at her, making her feel the pain she gave me, about showing her truth. But it was bigger than that. She had hurt many lives, not just mine, and she had to face the consequences. "What do you want from me?" I asked. "Everything you have. Bank statements, messages, pictures, proof that the money connection is still there, and I need you to be ready to speak in court if needed." "What about Maya, my daughter? If this comes out, your daughter will later understand that her mother made bad choices, and her father did what was right. Kids are strong, Mr. Rainwater, and the truth usually hurts less than a lie over time." I thought of Maya's drawing, the stick people in rain, the tall man wearing a coat. She had already seen more than she should have. "Okay," I said. "I'm in." Rebecca took a business card from her bag. Email me everything tonight. Use a secure way. I'll send instructions and my contact details. And, Mr. Rainwater, be careful. If your wife thinks you know, she will react strongly. People like her don't give up easily. I know. We stood up and shook hands. She left first, walking into the bright afternoon like nothing serious had happened. I sat back down, looked at the folder on the table, then checked my phone. 2:47 p.m. Almost time to pick up Maya from school. I grabbed the folder, put it into my laptop bag, and moved toward the door. My phone buzzed while I was unlocking my truck, a notice from the tracking app. Nora's car had left her office, driving east, away from the city center toward the industrial area where inexpensive motels were. That's probably where she was meeting Vance now. I had only 20 minutes until Maya's pickup. I couldn't follow Nora today, but I didn't need to. I already knew enough. I drove to Maya's school, parked in the pickup line, and watched the kids come out with bright backpacks and sneakers, full of energy. Maya saw my truck and ran to me with a big smile. "Daddy, you came to get me." "I did. Get in, pumpkin." She climbed in the back seat and started sharing about her day as I pulled out of the parking lot. The frog they found on the playground, her teacher saying her math sheet was perfect, Emma sharing cookies at snack time. I listened closely, answered her happily and warmly, but inside, I was imagining something different. Not furniture this time, a plan, a way out, a new life, one without Nora. At home, I helped Maya get her snack and start her homework at the kitchen table. Then I went to the workshop. The oak tabletop was done. Perfect. I had worked on it for weeks, smooth and clear like glass, every wood grain visible and fine. I pulled out blank paper and started drawing with a pencil. A house, 2 bedrooms, maybe 3 if possible, a kitchen with big windows, a yard for Maya to play in, a separate workshop so the wood smells wouldn't bother her. Not big or fancy, but ours. Just mine and Maya's. I drew the foundation first, made it strong, made it right. Every beam, every wall, every place that would hold the house up. This was what I used to do, what I was good at, making spaces where people could live safe and free. I had forgotten that. Or maybe Nora had made me forget. But now I was remembering. I heard the front door open, Nora's footsteps clicking across the floor. I checked my phone. 6:15 p.m., later than she said she'd be, of course. I saved the sketch and hid it in a drawer under old designs. Then I washed my hands and went back to the house. Nora was in the kitchen with Maya, asking about her day. She looked tired and worried, but also strangely calm, like she had made a decision. "Hey," I said from the doorway. "How was your day?" She turned around and smiled. That perfect smile she always used. "Tiring. But I think we finally made some progress with the client problem. How about you?" "Good. Maya and I had a nice afternoon. I made chicken for dinner. You just need to heat it up." "You're amazing, Eli. I don't know what I'd do without you." I walked over and kissed her cheek. "You'd figure it out? You always do?" Her smile faded for a moment, just long enough for me to see the doubt behind it. "Good." After dinner, once Maya was in bed, Nora and I sat on the couch, watching a show neither of us cared about. She was on her phone. I was on mine. Normal couple things. But I was sending secret files to Rebecca Chen, and she was probably texting Vance about how to handle her worried husband. "Eli?" Nora said suddenly. I looked up. "Yeah? Are you happy?" The question hit me hard. "What do you mean?" "I mean..." She put her phone down and looked at me. "Are you happy with our life? With how things are? Sometimes I feel like you're just going through the motions. Like you're here, but not really here." I saw the trap. She was testing me, trying to see if I suspected anything, trying to tell if her control was slipping. "I'm happy," I said carefully. "I mean, yeah, sometimes I wish that things had turned out differently, that I could still be an architect, but I'm thankful for what we have. For you, for Maya. Why do you ask?" "I don't know. She looked down at her hands. "I've been thinking about therapy, about what we talked about, and maybe I've been so focused on work, on providing, that I forgot to make sure you're okay. That we're okay." She was good at this, acting like the worried wife, turning my suspicion into her own concern. "We're okay," I said. "Better than okay. I love you, Nora." The lie tasted bitter, but I said it anyway. She leaned over and kissed me, deep and searching, like she was trying to find something lost. When she pulled back, her eyes were wet. "I love you too. So much. You need to know that. No matter what happens, no matter what you might think sometimes, I love you." I pulled her close and let her rest her head on my shoulder, felt her breathe near me, and I thought, "You're scared. You know something's wrong. You just don't know how bad yet." That night, long after Nora fell asleep, I went back to the workshop, turned on one small light, pulled out the house drawing, added a new room, a home office, a place where I could work, where I could design again, because that's what I was going to do. Once this was over, once Nora was gone and Maya was safe and the truth was out and those responsible were faced with the truth, I was going to be an architect again, not the broken stay-at-home dad making furniture no one wanted. The man I once was. The man I still was under all the lies, shame, and years of damage. I drew until my hand was tired, until the house on paper looked real enough to step inside. Then I put away the plans, locked the workshop, and went back inside. Nora was still asleep. Her phone was under her pillow, her hand curled around it like it was her lifeline. I stood in the doorway and watched her for a long time. She looked peaceful, innocent, like someone who deserved the life we'd built. But she didn't. And soon, everyone would find out. I went to Maya's room and stood in her doorway, too. She was stretched out on her bed, blankets all tangled, stuffed animals scattered. One arm hung off the side, fingers almost touching the floor. My daughter, my anchor. The only good thing in this whole terrible mess. I would protect her, no matter what, even if it meant tearing down the world her mother made. I went back to my own bedroom. I lay down next to Nora in the dark and closed my eyes. For the first time in 5 years, I dreamed about something good. I dreamed about building strong foundations, the kind that last. That's what I wanted to do. When I woke up, sunlight was coming through the window. It was the first time in months I had slept past 6 in the morning. For the first time in years, I woke up feeling like I had a reason to be alive, beyond just making breakfast and doing laundry. Nora was already gone. Her side of the bed was cold. I checked my phone. It was 8:47 a.m. She must have left early, probably because she couldn't sleep. Maybe she spent the night thinking about what I knew and when I might use it against her. That was fine with me. I got up and went downstairs. Maya was at the kitchen table, still in her pajamas, eating cereal. "Morning, Pumpkin. Why didn't you wake me up?" She looked at me with milk dripping from her spoon. "Mommy said to let you sleep. She said you've been working really hard and need rest." That was kind of her. She seemed sad, though. She kept checking her phone and sighing. I poured coffee for myself. "Mommy's just stressed about work, baby. Nothing for you to worry about." "Okay." She went back to eating. "Daddy, can we go to the park after school today?" "Absolutely. We'll go to the one with the big slide you like." Yay. I watched her eat, that little person who thought her parents' problems were just about work worries, not about the complicated things going on behind the scenes. I wanted her to believe that for as long as possible. But I also knew one day she'd find out. One day she'd know what her mother did and what I did in return. I only hoped she would forgive me. After I dropped Maya off at school, I didn't go home. I drove to a store across town, a place where no one would know me, a place where I could pay with cash and leave no evidence. I bought a tube of cheap red lipstick, the kind Nora would never wear. Then I went to another store and got a new SIM card for a phone I kept for emergencies. In the parking lot, I put a bit of the lipstick on the collar of one of my work shirts, the gray, button-down I wore when I needed to look neat. Not enough to be obvious, just enough if someone looked carefully. I went home and hung the shirt in the closet, mixing it with the other clean clothes so it looked normal. I put the SIM card in the old phone I kept in my workshop drawer. I turned it on and made a fake account on a messaging app under the name Sarah Mitchell. It was a common name, so it wouldn't stand out. Then I set a message to send to my regular phone at 2:15 p.m. That was when Nora usually checked her messages on that app with Vance. The message said, "Can't wait to see you again. Last time was amazing. SS." I made sure the notification would show up on my lock screen, clear and obvious, just like the ones I'd seen on Nora's phone through the mirrored network. Then I went to work in my shop, sanding, measuring, cutting, things a normal dad would do. I waited for the plan to work. At noon, I got a message from an unknown number. It said, "This is Rebecca Chin. I received your files, very thorough. We need to talk about the next steps. Can you meet tomorrow at 9 a.m.? Same place?" I replied. "I'll be there." At 2 p.m., I was in the kitchen making a sandwich when I heard Nora's car pull into the driveway. She never came home in the middle of the day. I kept making my sandwich, listening to her heels on the walkway and the front door opening. "Eli?" Her voice was tight, trying to sound normal but not quite managing it. "In the kitchen." She appeared in the doorway, still in her work clothes. Her hair and makeup were perfect, but her eyes were not. They were red-rimmed, like she hadn't slept or had been upset.
"What are you doing
"Hey,
home?"
what are you doing home?" I asked, taking a bite of my sandwich. "I needed to get some files. I forgot this morning. How was your day?" "Fine. Dropped Maya off, did some work in the shop. You know, the usual." She nodded, but stood still. She didn't move toward the office or the bedroom where she would have to go to find the files. "Eli, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Are you—" She stopped and looked down at her hands. "Are you seeing someone?" I almost choked on my sandwich. "What?" "No. Why would you ask that?" "I don't know. You've just been, different lately. Distant. And I wondered if maybe you'd met someone. Someone who makes you feel like the man you used to be before everything went wrong." Wow. She was blaming me for something she was doing. She had done this kind of thing with Vance for years. This was classic trickery. "Nora, I'm not seeing anyone. I barely leave the house, except to drop Maya off at school or get groceries. When would I even have time for that?" "I know. You're right. I'm being silly." She laughed, but it did not feel real. "Work is just making me stressed. I keep imagining things that aren't there. Come here." I put down my sandwich and pulled her into a hug. I could feel her body relax against mine. She breathed out, like she had been holding her breath for a while. "I'm sorry," she whispered against my chest. "I'm sorry for blaming you. I know you wouldn't do that to me." "It's okay. You're stressed. I understand." She pulled back and looked into my eyes, the way she used to, the way that used to make me weaken inside. "I love you, Eli. You know that, right? No matter what happens, no matter what you might hear or think or find out. I love you." That sounded strange. "No matter what you might find out. I love you too," I said. I kissed her forehead softly, trying to seem calm. Like I didn't know what she had done. Like I didn't have any plans against her. "I should get back to work," she said. "I'll see you tonight?" "I'll have dinner ready." She nodded and started to leave. Then she turned back. "Oh, by the way, I'm going to work from home tomorrow. The office is fixing things and it will be too noisy. Is that okay?" "Of course. I'll stay out of your way." She smiled and left. I waited until I heard her car leave the driveway. Then I took out my phone and looked at the hidden camera feed from our bedroom. She had been in there while I made my sandwich. She looked through my dresser drawers, wallet, and coat pockets. She was searching for signs of an affair. Perfect. At 2:15 p.m., my phone buzzed as planned. The fake message from Sarah Mitchell showed up on my lock screen. I was sitting on the couch, watching a home improvement show. I picked up my phone, read the message, and put it down without answering. Through the connected network, I watched Nora's location. She was still downtown, probably at a coffee shop or at her office, but I knew she had seen the same message on her screen. I had set it to show on her phone, too, using the spy software she likely installed months ago. I smiled. "Welcome to the mirror, sweetheart." That night, dinner was quiet. Nora hardly ate. She kept checking her phone and looking at me like she was trying to read my thoughts. Maya talked happily about her day at school, not noticing the tension. She showed us a drawing of a rainbow, saying, "Look, Mommy! Look! Daddy!" We both forced smiles and tried to act normal. After Maya went to bed, Nora poured a big glass of wine and sat next to me on the couch. "Eli, can we talk?" "Sure. What's on your mind?" "I've been thinking about what I said earlier. About you being distant. And I realized I've been distant, too. I had been so focused on work, dealing with a big problem with a client, and trying to keep the money in order that I forgot something important. We are supposed to be partners. A team. I said sorry for that. She looked at me and said, "You don't need to say sorry. I know you're trying your best. You're carrying the weight of this family. That's not easy. But I shouldn't have to do it all alone. You're here. You help with Maya. You manage the house. You take care of me. And I don't think I have thanked you enough for that. You don't have to thank me. That's what marriage is." "I know, but..." She put down her glass and took my hand. "I want you to know you are not a failure, Eli. I know you think you are because of what happened 5 years ago. Because Vance ruined your career and you had to give up architecture. But you're not a failure. You are a good man, a good father, a good husband. Please don't forget that." I watched her. This was the woman who had caused my career to fall apart, who had paid a lot of money to keep quiet about what she did, who had made me doubt myself while she acted like the one who was suffering the most. And now she was telling me I was not a failure. It was hard to believe. "Thank you," I said softly. "That means a lot." She leaned in and kissed me. It felt full of need, like she wanted to be sure of something. When she pulled away, her eyes were wet. "I don't want to lose you, Eli. No matter what happens with work or how stressed I am, I don't want to lose you. You are my safe place, my home." "You're not going to lose me," I said, though I wasn't sure if it was the truth. That night, I lay next to Nora in bed. I listened to her breathing, counting the minutes until she fell asleep. At 11:47 p.m., her breathing grew calm and deep. I waited 20 more minutes to be sure. Then I turned slowly to look at her in the dark. She was holding her phone like it was something she needed. I looked at my phone and opened the camera from the bedroom. At 12:23 a.m., her eyes opened. She stayed still for a minute, probably seeing if I was asleep. Then she sat up slowly, grabbed her phone, and started looking through something. Through the camera, I saw her phone screen in the bathroom mirror. She was going through my messages, my call list, my photos. She was searching for signs of Sarah Mitchell, signs that weren't real, signs I had put there to shake her mind. For 45 minutes, I watched her. She grew more and more upset. She searched every app, every folder, every hidden place on my phone to find proof of something that wasn't there. Finally, she put the phone down, lay back, stared at the ceiling, and quietly cried. The kind of crying that hides the pain so no one can see. I lay there with my eyes closed, pretending to sleep, and felt nothing. No guilt, no sadness, no regrets. This was what had been done to me for 5 years, made me doubt myself, made me question my mind, made me feel like I was losing control while she seemed in charge. Now she knew how it felt. The next morning, Nora was already sitting at the kitchen table when I came down. Her laptop was open. A coffee cup was next to her. Dark circles under her eyes showed she hadn't slept well. "Morning," I said. "You're up early." "Couldn't sleep," she said without looking up. "Too much on my mind." "Work stuff?" "Yeah. The client problem is getting worse. I might have to go to the office later, even though I said I'd work from home. Is that okay?" "Of course. Do what you need to do." Maya came downstairs, and the morning routine began. Breakfast done, vitamins taken, backpack checked, normal family things. But nothing felt normal anymore. I drove Maya to school and came back home. Nora was still at the kitchen table. Now she was on her phone, whispering quietly. She looked tense. I couldn't hear what she said from the door, but I didn't have to. The burner phone in my pocket was recording everything through the mirrored network. I went to my workshop and closed the door. I pulled out the burner phone and played back the recording. Nora's voice, tight and angry. I don't care what you think, Vance. Something's wrong. He's acting different. Too calm. Too perfect. And yesterday I found proof that he might be seeing someone. Vance's voice came through the speaker, sounding distant. So what if he is? Maybe that's good for us. If he's focused on someone else, he's not thinking about you, about us, about what we did. Or maybe he's setting me up. Maybe he knows everything and is just playing me. You're being paranoid, Nora. You've been paranoid for weeks. He doesn't know anything. He's just a dad staying home, making furniture, not smart enough to figure this out. There was a long pause. Then Nora's voice was sharp and cold. Don't underestimate him. He was smart once, before I broke him. If he has figured out what I did, if he's been tricking me all along, then we're both in trouble. Maybe you should just tell him the truth. Say sorry. See if the marriage can be saved. Are you crazy? If I tell him the truth, I lose everything. My job, my daughter, my life. He'll ruin me. And he'll make sure you go down too. Then what do you want me to do? I want you to disappear. Take the money I gave you and leave the country. Go to Mexico, Europe, anywhere. Just leave so there's no paper trail. I can't just disappear, Nora. I have a life here. What life? You're a failed architect living in a bad apartment with money I give you. You have no life. If this all comes out, we're both in deep trouble. More silence. Then Vance said, How much? What? How much to disappear? How much to leave and never come back? Are you serious right now? I'm serious. You want me gone? Fine. But it will cost you. 100,000 cash, then I'm gone. I don't have $100,000 just sitting around, Vance. Then figure it out. You put us in this mess. You destroyed your husband's career to feel powerful. You've been paying me to keep quiet for 5 years. So, figure it out. 100,000, or I go to the police and tell them everything. You jerk. You have 48 hours. The call ended. I sat in my workshop, hands shaking, holding the phone so tight I thought the screen might break. Vance was pushing her harder, asking for a huge amount of money to leave. Nora was scared, really scared. The mirror was working better than I hoped. I sent the recording to Rebecca Chen with a short message. Things are getting worse. Vance wants $100,000 to leave. Nora has 48 hours. What's the plan? She replied quickly, Let it run its course. The more desperate they are, the more mistakes they make. But be careful. Desperate people can be dangerous. Make sure you and Maya are safe. I spent the morning looking online. I found a support group for fathers fighting for custody, another for stay-at-home dads with wives who didn't understand them, a third for architects who had been pushed out of their work. I joined all three. I used a fake name. I told my story without giving too many details, but I shared how I really felt. Within an hour, I got many messages. Men who had gone through something similar. Men who understood. One message caught my eye. It was from someone called Dad in Trenches. He wrote, Brother, I know exactly what you're going through. My ex-wife ruined my engineering job and then used my time without work against me in court about our son. She made me look unstable and lazy. I lost primary care of my son. But I didn't give up. I hired a good lawyer, saved all the proof I could find. After 3 years, I got him back. Don't give up. Keep records. Prepare your case. Protect your child. That's the most important thing. I asked, How did you keep all that proof without her knowing? He said, Cameras, voice recordings. I saved every text, email, and chat. I made a timeline of all her false stories and tricks. When we went to court, I had 3 years of proof she was not the right parent. The judge couldn't ignore it. I asked, Did she say you were sick, or that you should be taken away? He said, Yes, she did. That's what people try when they feel they are losing. They say you are crazy, but that's why proof is important. You can't argue with videos, bank records, or messages with dates. I thanked him and closed my laptop. He was right. I had proof. I had a plan. But I also had a 6-year-old daughter watching her parents' life fall apart. I had to protect her from all this. That afternoon, I picked up Maya from school, took her to the park like I promised. I watched her play on the swings and climb the jungle gym. She went down the big slide again and again, laughing. "Daddy, watch this!" she shouted, hanging upside down on the monkey bars. "I'm watching, Pumpkin! Be careful!" She dropped down, landed with a smile, and ran to me. "Did you see? I almost made it all the way across." "You're getting stronger." I hugged her tight. "I'm so proud of you." She hugged me back hard. "Daddy, are you and Mommy fighting?" My heart stopped. "What makes you say that, baby?" "You both look sad. You don't talk like before. You used to laugh together. Now you sit in different rooms." I kneeled to be at her eye level. "Sometimes adults have hard times, Maya, but that doesn't mean we don't love each other. And it definitely means we love you very much, okay?" "Okay." She looked down at her shoes. "I don't want you to get divorced like Emma's parents. Emma cries a lot now." "Hey, look at me." I lifted her chin. "No matter what happens between Mommy and me, you will always be loved. You will always be safe. You are the most important thing in both of our lives, I promise." "Pinky promise?" "Pinky promise." We linked pinkies. She smiled and ran back to the playground. I sat on the bench, feeling something break inside me. She was just a little girl who wanted her parents to be happy. She wanted to play without adult problems. I was doing this for her. The paperwork, the planning, the struggles. I wanted her to know the truth. To know that her father wasn't the one who failed. Sometimes, the person who looks like the one hurt is not the one who is wrong. But in trying to protect her, I was also breaking the only home she knew. I didn't know if I was being a good dad or a bad one. That night, Nora came home late. Again. She looked tired and sad, like she had been crying. "How was your day?" I asked while heating up dinner for her. "Terrible. Really terrible. Everything is falling apart at work. The client might fire us. My boss says I'll lose my job if I don't fix it. And I just..." She sat at the kitchen table and put her head in her hands. "I can't handle this anymore, Eli. I can't keep everything together on my own." I put the plate in front of her. "You're not alone. I'm here. But you're not. Not really. You're here in body, but your mind is somewhere else. And I feel like I'm sinking, and you're just watching me. That's not fair, Nora. I've been supportive. I take care of Maya and the house. I try to make things easier for you so you can focus on work. What more do you want from me? I want you to fight for me." She looked up, tears running down her face. "Fight for us. Act like you care if we stay together or not." "I do care. I'm here, are not I? I haven't left. I'm still here every day. But you don't love me anymore. I can feel it. You look at me like I'm a stranger, like you're just waiting for a way out." She was right. I could feel it too. The change, the distance, the cold reflection staring back. "Nora, I love you. I always have." "Then show me. Make me believe it. Because right now I feel like I'm losing you and I don't know how to stop it." I walked over, helped her up from the chair, and wrapped my arms around her. I whispered close to her hair. "You're not losing me. I'm right here, always." She cried into my chest, deep, scared sobs. I held her, whispered calm words. But inside, I was planning what came next. That night, after Nora finally fell asleep, I stayed awake in the dark thinking about Dad in trenches, about his ex-wife saying bad things about him, about the fight for custody, about gathering proof. I took out my phone and looked at the secret camera feed. Nora was finally sleeping, the phone still under her pillow. Her hand held it gently. I switched to an earlier recording, the talk with Vance. I saved it, marked the time, added it to a secret folder in my cloud storage. Then I opened my email and read a message from Rebecca Chen again. "Let it play out. The more desperate they get, the more mistakes they make." She was right. I just had to wait. Let Nora fall apart. Let Vance make mistakes. Let the truth come out. But waiting was hard. Every day, Maya saw more, understood more, showed more in her drawings about our family falling apart. I didn't know how to keep her safe from that. At 2:47 a.m., I got up, went downstairs, made coffee even though I knew I wouldn't sleep, sat in the dark at the kitchen table. I thought about the man I used to be, the architect who built buildings, who knew how to make things strong and beautiful and last. And I thought about the man I was now, The one putting cameras in his own bedroom, watching his wife's phone, making fake proof of lies, recording conversations without telling anyone. Was I still a good man? Or had I become what I was fighting against? I didn't know. All I knew was I couldn't stop now. Couldn't go back. Couldn't let Nora win. Because if she won, Maya would grow up thinking her dad had failed, believing the wrong stories, growing up without knowing the real truth. And I couldn't live with that. So I sat there in the dark and drank my coffee. I watched the sun start to rise through the kitchen window. The war began on a Tuesday. It was family game night. Nora's idea, of course. "We need to reconnect," she said that morning, her voice trying to sound bright but feeling empty and nervous at the same time. "Let's have game night tonight, just the three of us, like we used to." Like we used to. Before she ruined my career, before she started paying my old teacher to stay quiet about what she did. Before I began putting cameras in our bedroom, copying her phone messages and building a case that would one day break our family apart. Yes, just like old times. "Sounds great," I said, pouring her coffee. "Maya will love it." And Maya did love it. That was the hardest part. Watching her face light up when Nora brought out Candyland and Uno and all the games we used to play when she was little, back when things were good, or at least when I thought they were. We sat on the living room floor. Nora kept checking her phone between turns. I kept my face calm, loving, and focused. Maya kept winning at Candyland because we both let her, because that's what parents do. We let our kids win to make them feel good, even when everything else feels wrong. "Your turn, Daddy," Maya said, handing me the spinner. I spun, landed on red, moved my piece forward. "Look at that. I'm catching up to you, Pumpkin." "No, you're not. I'm still way ahead." Nora laughed. It sounded off, forced, like she was trying hard to pretend everything was okay. "She's got you beat, Eli. You might as well give up now." "Never," I said, smiling at Maya. "Rainwaters don't give up." Nora's smile slipped for just a moment, long enough so I saw the fear behind it. We played for 2 hours. Maya won every game. Nora drank 3 glasses of wine. I drank water and watched them both, not recording anything because I didn't need to. This moment was already fixed in my mind. The last family game night before everything fell apart. At 8:30, Maya started yawning, rubbing her eyes, leaning against my shoulder. "Someone's tired," I said, softly kissing her head. "Time for bed, Pumpkin." "But I'm not tired," she said, even as her eyes were closing. "Come on, baby." Nora got up and reached for Maya's hand. "Let's take you upstairs." "Daddy, will you carry me?" "Of course." I picked her up. She wrapped her arms around my neck and rested her head on my shoulder. I carried her upstairs to her room with Nora right behind us. We did our usual bedtime routine. Pajamas, brushing teeth, story time, tucking her in just right, a kiss on the forehead, and leaving the nightlight on. Normal parent things, beautiful, painful, normal parent things. "Good night, Maya," Nora whispered, standing in the doorway. "I love you. Love you, Mommy. Love you, Daddy." "Love you too, Pumpkin." We closed the door and stood quietly in the hall. Nora looked at me with a look I couldn't read. Sadness, guilt, fear. "That was nice," she said quietly. "We should do that more often." "We should." She reached for my hand. I let her hold it. She squeezed it like she was holding on to something slipping away. "Eli, I know things have been hard. I know I've been distant and stressed, maybe not the best wife lately. But I want you to know I'm trying. I really am trying to make this work." "I know," I said, but that wasn't true. "I can see that. Do you still love me?" The question hit me hard, direct, desperate, full of traps. I looked at her, the woman who had slowly taken away my career, my confidence, and my sense of who I was. The woman who made me question my mind while she stayed in control. That evening, around 9:00 p.m., a woman stood in our hallway. She asked if I still loved her because she felt the mirror was showing back her own coldness, and it was making her upset. I said, "Yes, I still love you." She came close and kissed me deeply. almost like she was trying to find proof I wasn't telling the truth. When she pulled away, her eyes were wet. "I don't want to lose you," she said. "You won't lose me," I promised. We went to bed and lay in the dark next to each other. She fell asleep first, or at least she pretended to. I stayed awake, counting the minutes, waiting for my chance to check the camera to see what she had been texting Vance earlier that day. I wanted to find more proof for what I was starting to suspect. At 11:47 p.m., I heard soft footsteps in the hallway, small and uneven. It was Maya. I sat up slowly. Nora didn't move, still pretending to sleep. I got out of bed, opened the door, and saw Maya walking down the hall with open but empty eyes. She was sleepwalking. Sometimes she did this when she was tired or stressed. The doctor said it was common for kids, and she would outgrow it. "Maya?" I whispered. "Sweetheart, wake up!" She didn't answer. She kept moving toward the stairs. I followed her carefully, ready to help if she tripped. She went into the living room and stood in the middle of the floor, where we had been playing games earlier. Then she spoke, her voice low and flat, like she was saying words she didn't understand. "He'll never know it was me." My heart froze. "He's too broken to figure it out." Oh no. I made sure of that. She was repeating Nora's words exactly, the same things Nora must have said weeks ago. Maybe in the car, or through a door, or when she was on the phone with Vance, thinking Maya was asleep, or too young to listen. But Maya had understood. Somehow she understood. And now, in her sleep, she was saying the things her mother had said. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone and hit record. "He'll never know it was me. He's too broken to figure it out." I made sure of that. She said it 3 times, perfect and clear. It was heartbreaking. Then she turned and walked back upstairs like nothing had happened. I followed, tucked her into bed, and she didn't wake or remember a thing. She curled up with her stuffed bunny and went back to sleep. I stood in the doorway for a long time, phone in my hand, holding the recording. My daughter had just given me the proof I needed to confront her mother. And I felt terrible about it. The next therapy session was on Friday, 3 days after the sleepwalking. For those 3 days, I kept that recording on me like a secret I couldn't hide. Nora acted more paranoid, watching her phone all the time and looking at me like she was trying to solve a puzzle she couldn't figure out. Dr. Chen started the session as usual. "How has your week been?" Nora spoke quickly. "It's been really hard. I feel like Eli is pulling away from me even more, like he's hiding something. It's making me feel crazy, like I can't trust what I feel." That was classic. Blaming me for what she was doing, making herself seem like the one hurt. Dr. Chen looked at me. "Eli, what do you think about that?" I took a deep breath, looked at Nora with concern. "I'm not hiding anything, Nora. But there is something we should talk about. Something that happened earlier this week that really worried me." Her face tightened. "What do you mean?" I took out my phone. "Maya sleepwalked on Tuesday night. She does that sometimes when she's stressed, but this time, she said something that really worried me. I think it's really important we talk about this here with Dr. Chen. We need to understand what's going on at home that is making our daughter so anxious." "What did she say?" Dr. Chen asked. I pressed play. Maya's small, quiet voice filled the room. "He will never know it was me. He's too broken to figure it out. I made sure of that." A long, painful silence followed. Nora's face turned pale, then red, then showed a mix of anger and fear. That doesn't mean anything," she said, but her voice wobbled. She was asleep. Kids say strange things when they sleepwalk. It doesn't mean— "Nora," Dr. Chen said softly. "Children don't usually make up complex sentences like that on their own. They tend to repeat things they have heard. Do those words mean anything to you? Is it something you might have said where Maya could have heard it?" "No, absolutely not. I would never—" Nora stood up. "This is crazy. You're both crazy. You're trying to make me look like some kind of villain when all I've done is hold this family together for 5 years while Eli fell apart. I've been the one making the money. I've been the strong one. I've kept us going while he makes furniture in the backyard and plays the victim." "Nora, please sit down." Dr. Chen said. No, I'm done. This whole thing is just Eli trying to twist things so he can feel better about failing. Well, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not going to sit here and be attacked in therapy by my husband and my own daughter's half-conscious words. She grabbed her purse and moved toward the door. If you leave right now, Dr. Chen said quietly, I will suggest that you both do separate sessions. Because I think there are deeper problems here that need to be dealt with before couples therapy can work. Nora stopped at the doorway. She turned back, her face full of barely held anger. Fine. Separate sessions. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted anyway. Because clearly Eli has turned you against me, just like he turns everyone against me. She left. The door closed behind her with a hard sound. I sat quietly, hands in my lap, my face calm. Dr. Chen looked at me for a long moment. Eli, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be fully honest. Okay? Do you feel safe in your home? Yes. And does Maya feel safe? I thought about Maya's drawings, the simple figures in the rain, the man in the coat, the houses with cracks. I think Maya feels that something is wrong, I said carefully. But I don't think she is in any real danger. Nora loves her. I know that much is true. What about feeling unsafe inside, emotionally? I looked at Dr. Chen's eyes. I think Maya is seeing her mother not telling the truth, and I think she knows it deep down. And I believe that might cause her pain for a long time if we don't do something soon. Dr. Chen nodded and wrote something down. I will suggest you both keep doing individual sessions for now, and I also recommend a child psychologist for Maya, not because there is something wrong with her, but because she needs a safe place to work through what she is feeling at home. Is that okay with you? Yes, absolutely. Good. She closed her notebook. Eli, I want you to know I believe you. I have been doing this for 20 years, and I can tell when someone is being unfairly blamed. Whatever is happening in your home, whatever the truth is, I want you to understand your feelings are real, your concerns are valid, and you are not wrong. Something inside me broke open. Relief. Feeling understood. The first time in 5 years, someone said those words and meant them. Thank you, I whispered. That night, I logged into the support group website. I wrote an update using my screen name. Big step today. My therapist said everything I've been feeling is real. Suggested separate sessions. My wife is falling apart. But our daughter is stuck in the middle, and I don't know how to keep her safe without breaking the only stable life she's ever known. How do you handle talking about custody when you know it's coming? Answers came quickly. Dad in trenches. Friend, this is the hardest part. The part when you see protecting your child might mean losing the life you built. But that life was built on lies. Your daughter deserves better. You both do. Start keeping track of everything for custody. Every event, every record, every time her mother shows she's not well. Get your case ready before she gets hers, because she will. Architect down. I went through this 3 years ago. My ex tried to say I wasn't fit during the custody fight, said I was acting crazy. But I had proof. Recordings, notes. The judge saw through her lies. You're on the right path. Keep going. Single dad, warrior. The fact your therapist supports you is a big deal. Get something in writing. Have her write down the session where your wife left upset. This will be very important if it goes to court, and it will go to court. You know that, right? I sat watching the screen glow, reading their messages. For the first time in 5 years, I felt less alone. Yes, I knew this would go to court. I'd been preparing since the night I sat in my truck in the rain, realizing my wife had ruined my career. Since I set up the first camera, since I copied her phone, since I started building the most important plan of my life. Not a building this time, but a future. For me and Maya. I clicked reply. I'm ready. Tell me everything I need to do to win custody. They told me everything. Every detail, every plan, every lesson they learned the hard way. I took notes, made lists, started a new file in my safe cloud storage called Custody Preparation. At 1:23 a.m., I heard Nora get up. Footsteps in the hall. She went into Maya's room. I pulled up the camera on my phone. Nora stood by Maya's bed, just watching her sleep. Her face was wet with tears. She bent down, kissed Maya's forehead, whispered something I couldn't hear, then left the room. She went back to our bedroom. I heard her opening drawers, closing them, changing camera views. I saw her searching through my dresser, looking for something. Maybe my fake lipstick evidence I had left weeks before, or the imaginary affair she thought I had. She found nothing because there was nothing to find except the small clues I left on purpose. After about 10 minutes, she gave up, sat on the bed edge, put her face in her hands. Then I saw her do something unexpected. She took her phone from under her pillow, opened an anonymous app, started typing. Through the linked system, I saw her message appear on my burner phone. I think he knows. I think he's known for some time. And I think he's tricking me. What do I do? Vance answered fast. Get a lawyer. File first. Make him look unstable. Use his past mistake. Make him seem weak. Get full custody of Maya. Then the truth won't matter because you'll have all the control. I watched Nora read it, then type back. I can't do that to him. He's still Maya's dad. She deleted the message and started over. How fast can you get away if everything falls apart? I'm already ready. Just say the word. I saved the whole conversation. I added the time and put it with the other proof. Then I put down my phone and stared at the ceiling in the dark. She was going to ask for custody. She wanted to take Maya from me. She planned to use the same lies she used 5 years ago to ruin my career. But this time, she wanted my daughter too. Not if I acted first. Not if I moved faster. Not if I finished building the mirror before she realized what was happening. I lay in bed until the morning light came through, planning, thinking, picturing the last design in my mind. When the sun rose, I knew exactly what I must do. Keep Maya safe, win custody, and reveal the truth. Everything else didn't matter. On Monday morning, I found Nora's journal. Not a paper notebook, but a digital one. Hidden in her iCloud, in a folder called Work Notes 2021-2026. I had been going through every file she thought no one would see, each backup, every secret piece of data, and there it was, 5 years of her private thoughts, written like she'd never expect me to read them. At 6 a.m., I sat in my workshop, coffee cooling at my side, reading every word. May 2021. Eli got the Henderson project today. The senior partners were praising his design. Nobody looked at mine. I worked twice as hard, but it was like I didn't exist. I'm so tired of being invisible. Tired of being Eli's wife and not Nora Chen, architect. June 2021. I talked to Vance about the offshore accounts. He's scared but wants to go ahead. If I make it look like his plan, Eli will fall with him. The investigation will wreck his career. He won't get hired again. Then I'll be the one who saves us. I'll be the powerful one. August 2021. It's working. The investigation started today. Eli came home looking broken. He asked if he'd survive this, if any firm would hire him after. I told him yes. I lied, and it was easy. I had to stop reading and put down the phone. The anger burned so hot I thought I would break something. She destroyed me because I was better than her. Because clients wanted my work more. Because I was about to become a partner and she wasn't. Because she couldn't stand being in my shadow. All of it, the investigation, the lies, losing my career, came from her pride. 5 years of feeling like a failure, like I let my family down, because I couldn't do the work I loved. It was all because my wife couldn't be second best. I picked up the phone and kept reading. October 2021. Eli cried today. He said he felt lost, like he didn't know who he was without being an architect. I held him and told him everything would be okay. I felt guilty, but mostly I felt strong. Now he needs me, completely, and that feels good. March 2022. Vance is asking for more money. He says he'll tell on me if I don't give it. I told him he'd go to prison too. He stopped, but I know this isn't over. I'll be paying him forever. That's the cost of power. December 2025. I think Eli suspects something. He's been quiet watching me. Maybe I'm worried? For no reason. He's too broken to notice. I made sure of that. That last line was the same one Maya had been saying in her sleep. 3 days ago, in Dr. Chen's office, I played the recording I had made on my phone. It was a confession. I sent the whole journal to Rebecca Chen with one short message. She wrote everything down, every detail, every reason, every lie. She replied right away. This can go to court. I'm calling the DA today. I sat there, in the gray morning, my hands shaking, feeling a tightness in my chest that was a mix of sadness and anger. The woman I loved for 12 years, the woman I married, the mother of my child, she had slowly broken me, all because she was jealous. Not for money, not to survive, just for her own pride. Then I heard footsteps outside, heavy and male. I looked out the workshop window. Vance Morrison was walking to my front door at 6:30 in the morning, bold and reckless. I grabbed my phone and started recording. Then I slipped out the back and moved along the side of the house. I could hear, but not be seen. The door opened. Nora's voice was sharp and scared. "What are you doing here? I told you not to come to my house. We need to talk. Now. Your husband knows something. I can feel it. This whole thing is about to fall apart. Keep your voice down. He's in the workshop. He can hear us. I don't care if he hears. I want my 100,000, Nora, today. Or I'm going to the police and telling everything. I don't have $100,000. Then get it. Sell something. Take out a loan. I don't care. But I want it tonight or I stop helping you. You're not helping me, Vance. You're blackmailing me. Call it what you want. But you owe me. I took the blame for your plan. I've been living in a bad apartment for 5 years with no work, broke, just surviving on your hush money. Now your husband is watching and I'm not going down alone. If you go to the police, you go to jail too. Maybe. But at least I'll see you lose everything. Your career, your daughter, your freedom. Worth it. There was a long, tense silence. Then Nora spoke coldly. Get off my property. I'll get the money by tonight. But after this, we are done. You leave the country. You never contact me again. With pleasure. I heard his steps fade away, the door slam, and Nora lean against it, breathing hard. I stayed hidden for 5 minutes, then I walked to the front door, like nothing had happened. Nora was in the kitchen, pouring coffee with trembling hands. Morning, I said, trying to sound calm. She turned, tried to smile, but it didn't work. Couldn't sleep. Too much on my mind. Work? Yeah. A client problem is getting worse. I might need to take a short loan from our savings to cover some emergency bills. Is that okay? $100,000 from our savings. To pay off Vance. To make him disappear. Of course, I said. Whatever you need, we're a team, right? She looked at me. Really looked. Trying to see if I knew. If I'd heard. If the trap was closing. Right, she whispered. We're a team. I walked over and kissed her forehead. I'm taking Maya to school. Want me to make you breakfast first? No, I'm not hungry. I'll grab something at work. Okay. Love you. Love you too. I went upstairs, woke Maya, and got her ready for school. Just like any other morning. Except nothing was normal now. In the truck on the way to school, Maya was quiet, staring out the window. You okay, Pumpkin? Daddy, why was that man at our house this morning? My heart froze. What man, baby? The man in the coat. From the parking lot, I saw him through my window. He was talking to Mommy at the front door. They sounded upset. Jesus. She had seen everything? Again. That was just someone Mommy works with. They had an emergency at work, nothing for you to worry about. But why did he sound so angry? Sometimes grown-ups get stressed about work and sound angry even when they don't mean to. It's okay. She didn't look sure, but she nodded. Okay. I dropped her off at school and watched her run inside. Then I went straight to Rebecca Chen's office without calling first. She was there, sitting at her desk, already on the phone with someone, probably the DA. She saw me through the glass door and waved me in. I need to call you back, she said into the phone. Then to me, Mr. Rainwater, I wasn't expecting you. Vance came to my house this morning. He asked Nora for $100,000. He said he would go to the police if she didn't pay by tonight. I recorded everything. Her face became sharp and focused. Play it. I pulled out my phone and pressed play. Vance's voice filled the room with threats and blackmail, admitting he took the blame for what Nora had done. When it ended, Rebecca was already dialing. I'm calling the DA now. This is enough. We can move against both of them today. What about Maya? My daughter. If this goes public, Your daughter will be safe. You will have main custody. Nora will face the consequences, and you will finally be free. I sat down and put my head in my hands. This was it, the moment I had been waiting for months. The whole situation was about to fall apart. I felt nothing but cold, clear focus. Do it, I said. Take them both down. On Wednesday, the papers came. Divorce papers and a request for emergency custody. Nora's lawyer filed them at 9 a.m. I was served at home while Maya was at school. The person gave me the envelope and left. I stood in my kitchen and read everything inside. Nora was trying to make me look unstable, paranoid, and obsessed with ideas about her. She used an old scandal from 5 years ago to say I hadn't recovered mentally. She said I wasn't fit to have main custody of Maya and asked for full custody with only limited visits for me. She had filed first, just like Vance told her to in those messages on Whisper. I called my lawyer, the one Rebecca Chen had suggested last week. Sandra Mills. She was in her 50s, sharp and skilled with tough custody cases. She filed, I said. I know. I already have the papers. Don't worry. This is what we expected. Now we fight back. Hard. How much proof do you have? Everything. 5 years of bank records showing payments to Vance. Logs of her secret online messages. A journal where she admitted to planning the scheme. The recording of Vance at our house yesterday, demanding money. Video from hidden cameras showing her going through my things while I slept. The recording of Maya talking in her sleep. And notes from our therapist about how Nora acts. Send me everything today, but keep it all safe. We'll file our reply tomorrow. We will break her case before it even gets to court. I sent all the files, every proof I had gathered over months. Then I did something else. I sent the recording of Vance's threat to Nora's boss at the PR firm, but I sent it anonymously from a secret email no one could track. The message said only this: your senior consultant has been taking money illegally and paying to keep it quiet. Thought you should know. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed with a news alert. Morrison Chen PR firm investigating senior employee for financial misconduct. I opened the article. They were not naming Nora yet, but they had stopped her from working while they looked into things. They froze her bank accounts and started checking everything closely. Her life was falling apart, just like mine did 5 years ago. I could see it happening right in front of me. At 3 p.m., I picked up Maya from school. She was quiet in the car. I knew something was wrong. What's wrong, Pumpkin? I asked. Emma said her mommy told her that sometimes moms and dads don't live together anymore. Is that going to happen to us? My heart hurt. Maybe, baby. I don't know yet. But I want you to know that even if mommy and daddy don't live in the same house, we both still love you so much. And you will always be safe, okay? Okay, she whispered. Daddy, did I do something wrong? No. No, baby, you didn't do anything wrong. None of this is your fault. This is something adults deal with. You're perfect. You're my rock, remember? You're my rock too, Daddy. I pulled the car over and turned to face her. Maya, I need you to be brave for a little while. Things might feel mixed up and maybe a little scary. But I promise, I will make sure you're okay. No matter what. Do you believe me? I believe you. I drove home. Nora's car was already in the driveway. She was home early, probably because of her suspension. I walked in with Maya. Nora was in the kitchen, laptop open, phone at her ear. Her face was red, her eyes swollen from crying. She hung up when she saw me. We need to talk, she said. Maya, go upstairs and play in your room for a bit, okay? Okay, Daddy. Maya ran upstairs, and I waited until I heard her bedroom door close. Then I turned to Nora. You filed for divorce. I had to. You've been building a case against me for months. I know what you're doing, Eli. The cameras, the recordings, the watching. You think I don't know? You think I'm stupid? No. I think you've done wrong. And now you're finally facing what you did. Her face went pale. What did you do? I sent proof to the right people. Your boss, the lawyers, everyone who needs to see what happened 5 years ago and what you've been doing since. It's finished, Nora. This is the end for you. You're going to break our family over this? Over something from 5 years ago? You already broke our family. You hurt my job. You hurt Peter Harmon so badly he took his own life. And for 5 years, you made me think I was the problem. You made me doubt myself while you acted like the hero. So yes, I'm fighting back. The same way you hurt me. She stood up and walked toward me. Her face looked full of anger and fear. Do you want to know why I did it? Because I was tired of being ignored. Everyone praised Eli Rainwater, the great architect, but I was just a woman behind the scenes. I needed you to be broken so I could finally be the one in charge. And it worked. For 5 years, people depended on me. I was someone important. You were always important, Nora. You just couldn't see it because you were too busy being jealous of me. Don't dare say that. Don't make this about my feelings when you've been spying on me for months. You put cameras in my house. You controlled my phone. You made fake stories about me. You're just as bad as I am. Maybe. But I didn't ruin anyone's life except yours. And you got what was coming. She hit me hard on the face. I didn't move or say anything, just felt the red mark grow on my cheek. Get out of my house, I said quietly. This is my house. I pay for it. I pay for everything. Not anymore. You're suspended from work. Your accounts are frozen, and in about a day you'll face serious charges, so get out. She grabbed her purse and her laptop, quickly putting them into a bag. Do you really think you can win custody? What judge would give Maya to a dad who doesn't have a job and lost his career because of a scandal? I will destroy you in court. I'll make you look so unstable. They won't let you near her, she said. Go ahead. I have 5 years of proof. You only have lies. Let's see which one is stronger, I said. She left and slammed the door so hard the windows shook. I stood in the empty kitchen, breathing hard, my face still burning from her slap. Then I went upstairs and knocked on Maya's door. Come in, she said softly. She was sitting on her bed with her stuffed bunny. She had been crying. I heard yelling, she whispered. I sat next to her and pulled her into my lap. I know, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Mommy and I were having a fight. Is Mommy coming back? She asked. I don't know, but you will stay here with me always. Okay? Okay, she said, snuggling closer. I held her until she fell asleep. Then I tucked her in and went downstairs. My phone buzzed. A text from Rebecca Chen. The DA is moving forward. Arrest warrants for both Nora and Vance will be issued tomorrow morning. Get ready for media attention. This will be public very soon. I sat on the couch and stared at the wall. This was what I wanted. What I'd worked for months to make happen. Nora exposed, facing the consequences of what she did. So, why did I feel so empty? Because Maya was upstairs, crying herself to sleep. Because her world was about to change so much. Because I had chosen justice even when it could hurt her. Was I a good father? Or had I become the very thing I was fighting against? I didn't know. But I knew I couldn't stop now. The hearing was on Friday. Nora had filed an emergency request 2 days after the arrest warrants, saying I was unstable, paranoid, and dangerous. She asked for me to be evaluated and possibly forced into treatment. It was her last move. I sat in the courtroom with Sandra Mills on one side and Maya's court-appointed advocate on the other. Nora was across the aisle with her lawyer, looking pale and worn out. The judge was a woman in her 60s, Judge Patricia Morrison. There was no connection to Vance, thankfully. She was known for being fair but strict. Nora's lawyer spoke first. Your Honor, we are here today because Mr. Rainwater has shown unstable behavior over the past months. He put cameras all around the family home without Mrs. Rainwater's knowledge. He tracked her using GPS. He recorded private talks. He made detailed theories that she was part of a 5-year-old case of stealing money that was closed with no charges. This shows paranoid behavior. We believe he might be a risk to himself and to his daughter. Judge Morrison looked at me. Mr. Rainwater, what do you say? Sandra stood. Your Honor, this was not paranoia. It was investigation. And he was right. Mrs. Rainwater did plan the scheme 5 years ago. She has been paying the main suspect hush money all these years. She has been making Mr. Rainwater doubt his own mind and what is real. We have many papers that prove this. Bank records, digital messages, a personal journal with confessions, audio recordings of clear threats and blackmail. This is not mental illness. This is a man who found out the truth about his wife's crimes and collected proof. I would like to hear from Mr. Rainwater directly, the judge said. I stood up. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. Your Honor, 5 years ago, my career as an architect was ruined when the company I worked for was accused of stealing money. Because of that, people stopped trusting me. I stayed at home to take care of our child. My wife became the main earner. For 5 years, she used that power over me to make me feel small. She made me doubt myself and feel like I was lucky she stayed, because no one else would want a failed architect who couldn't support his family. I took a deep breath. 6 months ago, I started to notice strange things. Money missing, secret meetings, coded messages. I began to look into it. I found out that my wife was behind the whole stealing money plan. She wanted to ruin my career because she was jealous of my success. She blamed her business partner and paid him to keep quiet. For 5 years, she made me question my own mind while staying in control. When I began to get close to the truth, she tried to say I was not mentally well to stop me from telling what I knew. These are very serious claims, Judge Morrison said. I have proof, I said. Bank records show regular payments going to Vance Morrison for 5 years. Internet logs show daily secret messages. Her personal diary explains why and how she did it. I have a recording where Vance threatens her for more money. There is a video of her searching my things for evidence she could not find. And most important, the expert who checked the original stealing found proof of her involvement that was never shared before. The judge looked at Nora. Mrs. Rainwater, what do you say? Nora stood up, her voice shaking. Yes, my husband changed evidence to make me look guilty. He is obsessed with the idea that I ruined his career. He cannot accept that he failed on his own. He put cameras in our bedroom, followed my every move, and made a complicated false story to avoid admitting he made mistakes. This is not about truth. This is about a broken man who cannot accept that his wife is more successful than him. Your Honor, Sandra said, we want to call some witnesses. People who can speak about Mr. Rainwater's character and mind. Go ahead, the judge said. For the next hour, Sandra called one witness after another. Marcus, from the support group, said I was calm and careful, not crazy. Rebecca Chen, the money expert, shared what she had found years ago that pointed to Nora, but wasn't used in court back then. Dr. Sarah Chen, our therapist, told about Nora's behavior in our talks, and that she suggested separate sessions after Nora left angrily. A co-worker from my old firm said I was a good professional architect before the scandal, with no signs of mental problems. Maya's kindergarten teacher spoke about the stress Maya had at home, showing through her drawings. When Sandra finished, Nora's lawyer looked tired. Judge Morrison looked at both of us. I want to be clear. This court takes claims about mental health and dishonesty very seriously. Mr. Rainwater, your actions may have been unusual and might break some laws depending on the rules about recording people. But your evidence is strong. It shows you were acting based on real reasons. Rainwater, the proof against you is strong enough that I am sending this case to the district attorney for possible charges, she said. She paused. The request for a mental health check and forced care is denied. But because the claims on both sides are serious and this marriage is clearly broken, I am ordering a full custody evaluation right away. Neither parent will have full custody until that is done. Temporary shared custody will be in place, and a plan for parenting must be given in 7 days. We will meet again in 30 days for the full custody hearing. The gavel hit the desk. It was over. I left the courtroom. Marcus was waiting in the hall. You did well, brother, he said, giving me a hug. You stayed strong. You told the truth. That's all you could do. It's not over, I said. The custody hearing in 30 days. You will win. You have everything. Proof, witnesses, the truth. She has lies. And lies don't stand strong in family court. Trust me. I nodded. I couldn't find words. I just stood there in the courthouse hall, feeling everything and nothing all at once. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Sandra. It went as well as it could. Now we get ready for the real fight. Custody. Prepare yourself. I looked at Marcus. How do I tell Maya that her mother might go to jail? Carefully. Honestly. With love. That's all you can do. Kids are stronger than we think. They can handle truth better than lies. I hoped he was right, because Maya was about to face the truth about everything. and I didn't know if she would forgive me for shaking up her world to show what was real. The 30 days before the full custody hearing felt like 30 years. I kept Maya's routine the same. School drop-off at 8:15, pick-up at 2:30, homework at the kitchen table with apple slices and string cheese, dinner at 6, bath at 7, stories at 7:30, lights out by 8, normal, steady, safe, even though nothing felt normal anymore. Nora had moved into a small apartment downtown. The court's plan meant Maya stayed with me Sunday through Wednesday, and with Nora Thursday through Saturday. Each time we switched, it happened in a public parking lot with both our lawyers there because the judge didn't believe we could do it smoothly. Maya handled it better than I expected. Or maybe she just hid her feelings well. It's hard to tell with 6-year-olds. "Daddy, why do you and Mommy have to meet in the grocery store parking lot now?" she asked one Thursday morning while I packed her overnight bag. "Because the judge thinks it's easier this way. Neutral ground, like when two countries meet to talk about peace." "Are you and Mommy fighting?" "Oh, no." "No, baby. We just need some space right now to figure things out. Emma's parents got divorced, and now Emma has 2 bedrooms and gets twice as many birthday presents." I kneeled down. "Is that what you want? 2 bedrooms and more presents?" She thought hard, then shook her head. "I just want everyone to stop being sad." I pulled her close. "Me too, Pumpkin. Me too." The custody check took 3 weeks. A court-picked psychologist named Dr. Linda Warren handled it. She was in her mid-50s with kind eyes and a soft voice. She talked with me for 4 hours over 2 visits. She talked with Nora for 4 hours, too. She spent 2 hours with Maya while I waited outside, biting my nails down to nothing. Dr. Warren came to both homes. She watched me make dinner for Maya. She saw Nora try to help with homework, even though she didn't remember the math grade anymore. She looked over all the proof, the videos, the recordings, the journal, the bank statements, the chat logs, every piece. Then she wrote her report. Sandra called me the day before the hearing. The report came back. "It's good, Eli. Really good. She's suggesting you get primary custody of Maya with supervised visits for Nora while the investigation is ongoing." I sat down on the floor of my workshop. "What did she say about me? About the cameras?" "She said your ways were unusual but made sense given what you were dealing with. That you were reacting in a normal way to being made to question your own feelings and being treated badly. That your main concern has always been Maya's well-being. And that you've given her a stable and loving home while Nora has been struggling." "And Maya? What did she tell her?" There was a long pause. "She said Maya draws a lot, using her art to work through grown-up feelings. One drawing in particular was very important." "Which one?" "You'll see it at the hearing tomorrow. Dr. Warren will show it as proof." The courtroom was full. On my side sat Sandra, Rebecca Chen, Marcus from the support group, 3 other dads I met online, Dr. Sarah Chen, the therapist, and even my old co-worker from the architecture firm. A whole row of people who believed me. On Nora's side were her lawyer, her mother, who had flown in from Chicago, and 2 co-workers who looked uncomfortable. Judge Morrison walked in right at 9 a.m. "We are here for the full custody hearing in the case of Rainwater versus Rainwater. I have read Dr. Warren's report. We will first hear from Dr. Warren, then from other witnesses as needed." Dr. Warren took the stand, calm and professional. She explained her findings step by step. She had talked to both parents, visited both homes, and looked over many papers. Her conclusion was clear. I was the more stable and consistent parent, the one Maya felt safest with. "However," Dr. Warren said, "I want to talk about the surveillance because it has been important to Mrs. Rainwater's concerns about Mr. Rainwater's mental health." Judge Morrison nodded. "Please go ahead." "In cases where people are made to doubt themselves, they often use ways to keep track of things to prove they are right," Dr. Warren said. "Mr. Rainwater's use of cameras and monitoring, while it might be questioned legally, was easy to understand emotionally. He was being made to doubt his own mind by someone he trusted. The surveillance wasn't about control or worry, but about feeling safe, about proving to himself that he was not wrong." Something inside me relaxed. Finally, someone understood. "Now, about the child," Dr. Warren went on. Maya Rainwater is a very smart and clear 6-year-old. During our talks, she was helpful, thoughtful, and honest. She said she loves both parents, but mentioned that her father doesn't lie, while her mother seems sad and angry a lot now. Nora moved in her seat. I didn't look at her. Maya also uses art to express herself, even if she doesn't call it therapy. She draws all the time. Her drawings over the last 6 months clearly show she understands more and more about her parents' problems. Dr. Warren took out a folder. With the court's approval, I'd like to show some of Maya's drawings as proof. Permission granted, said the judge. She spread the drawings on the table. I knew most of them. Stick figures in the rain, a man wearing a coat, houses with cracks. But one drawing was new to me. This is Maya's most recent drawing, Dr. Warren said, holding it up so the judge could see. She made it 2 days ago during our last session. When I asked what it meant, she said, and I quote, "That's the house Mommy broke, and that's Daddy trying to fix it." The drawing showed 2 houses side by side. One building leaned to the side, its foundation cracked, with dark marks around it like storm clouds. The other stood straight, with strong lines and sunshine above. Between them was a small figure holding what looked like little tools. A tiny crayon drawing of me. At the bottom, in Maya's careful 6-year-old handwriting, it said, "Mommy's secrets." The courtroom went quiet. Judge Morrison looked at the drawing for a moment. Then she looked at Nora. "Mrs. Rainwater, do you want to say anything about this?" Nora stood up. Her lawyer tried to stop her, but she shook him off. "That drawing means nothing. She's just 6 years old. Someone has been telling her what to say. Eli has been turning her against me for months, making her think I'm bad when all I've done is try to keep our family together, while he fell apart." "Please sit down, Mrs. Rainwater," Judge Morrison said softly. "No, I won't sit. I won't just sit here and let my husband ruin me with cameras, recordings, fake evidence, and my own daughter's crayon pictures. He's made everyone think I'm the bad one, but he's the one who—" "Mrs. Rainwater, sit down." Nora sat. Her hands were shaking. Her strong front was breaking. In front of everyone. Finally. "Dr. Warren," the judge said, "do you think this child was coached?" "No, Your Honor." Maya's answers were natural and right for her age. She wasn't repeating lines someone told her. She was showing her true feelings about her family in the way she knows best. "Drawing." Judge Morrison nodded. "Thank you, Dr. Warren. You may step down." She turned to Sandra. "Do you have more witnesses?" "Yes, Your Honor. We want to call Vance Morrison." Everyone in the courtroom turned to look. Vance Morrison came in looking much older than the last time I saw him at my house. Thinner, gray, worn out. He took the stand but wouldn't look at Nora. Sandra walked up to him like a predator near injured prey. "Mr. Morrison, you worked with Mrs. Rainwater 5 years ago at the architecture firm Morrison and Chen, right?" "Yes." "And you were the main suspect in a money theft case that destroyed the firm and hurt many careers, including Mr. Rainwater's, right?" "Yes." "Did you steal the money, Mr. Morrison?" "No." Long silence. "No." Gasps filled the room. I already knew this, but hearing him say it aloud was different. Real. "Then, who did it?" Vance finally looked at Nora. "She did. Nora Chen, now Nora Rainwater. She set up hidden accounts, she made fake companies, she moved the money. I found out after 6 months and told her. She said, if I told anyone, she'd make sure I took all the blame. She had papers to make it look like I was guilty. So I stayed quiet. When the investigation started, I ran because I was scared and didn't know what else to do. And what happened after you ran? She contacted me, said she'd pay me to stay quiet. $5,000 every 2 weeks for 5 years. Hush money. I took it because I was out of work and scared of going to jail. Did Mrs. Rainwater say why she did this? She said Eli was becoming too successful and getting too much praise. She wanted to stop him so she could be strong in their marriage. She planned the whole scandal to ruin his career. The courtroom buzzed with shock. Judge Morrison's gavel hit down hard. Order! I want order! Nora's lawyer stood up, objecting to everything, but it was too late. The truth was out, official and clear. I sat there feeling many things at once. Relief, Anger, sadness, justice. Sandra had one more question. Mr. Morrison, why are you testifying today? Vance looked down at his hands. Because I'm tired of running. Tired of lying. A good man lost everything because I helped cover up what happened. And I saw Nora trying to hurt him again with these custody battles. I couldn't stay silent anymore. Peter Harmon took his own life because of what we did. That will always weigh on me. But I can at least stop Eli from being hurt again. Vance stepped down. Judge Morrison looked at Nora. Mrs. Rainwater, do you want to speak in your own defense? Nora stood up, walked to the stand. Didn't look at anyone. Yes, Your Honor. I want to explain. Go ahead. 5 years ago, I made a big mistake, a terrible one. I was jealous of my husband's success, so I did something wrong to make us even. I took money from our firm and blamed my business partner. I hurt Eli's career just to feel powerful, to be the successful one, the one who earns money and is in control. Her voice broke. For 5 years, I kept that secret. I paid Vance to keep quiet. I made my husband think he was a failure when really, I caused him to fail. I controlled him, made him doubt himself every day while I acted like the one who was strong. Tears ran down her face now, real tears. But I didn't do it because I'm bad. I did it because I was broken, because I couldn't stand being second, because I needed to feel important, and I ruined everything good in my life to get that. She looked at me. Finally. Eli, I'm so sorry. For everything. For hurting your career. For 5 years of lies. For trying to take Maya from you. You didn't deserve this. You were a good husband, a good father, a good man. And I ruined you because I couldn't accept that you were better than me. Judge Morrison's face didn't show much. Mrs. Rainwater, do you understand that your words today can be used against you in criminal court? Yes, Your Honor. I understand. I'm done running. Done lying. Let it all come out. I will accept whatever happens. The judge paused us for 30 minutes. I stood in the courthouse hallway with Sandra, trying to understand what had just happened. She admitted it, Sandra said, quietly. Right here in court. She admitted everything. Why would she do that? Because she knew she already lost. Vance's words destroyed her last chance to be believed. Sometimes people get to a point where lying is harder than telling the truth. I thought about the mirror, about watching her fall apart for months, about the image I'd created to show her what she did to me. Maybe that mirror worked too well. Marcus appeared beside me. Brother, you did it. You won. Did I? I don't feel like I won. I feel like everyone lost. That's because you're a good man, Eli. Good men don't celebrate when others fall, even if they should. Judge Morrison called us back. I have decided on custody. Primary care goes to Mr. Rainwater. Mrs. Rainwater will have supervised visits 2 nights a week and some Saturdays until the criminal case is finished. If Mrs. Rainwater is found guilty of fraud, we will review the custody agreement. Court is closed. The gavel came down. It was over. I left the courthouse holding Maya's hand. She had waited in a different room with a helper during the hearing. She didn't need to hear all of that. Not yet. Did you win, Daddy? I looked at her pure, innocent face. Yes, Pumpkin. I won. Does that mean I get to stay with you? Yeah. You get to stay with me. She smiled and squeezed my hand. Good. Because you're my rock. You're my rock, too. We walked to the truck under the bright afternoon sun. The rain had stopped weeks ago. The air smelled fresh. And then I realized something. I hadn't just won custody. I'd found myself again. 3 days after the custody hearing, I got a call. Nora's lawyer. His voice was serious and private. He wanted to meet me alone at his office that afternoon. I almost said no, but something in his voice made me agree. His office was downtown on the 10th floor. Walls of glass with a view of the city, the kind of place that charges a lot just to wait. He met me at the door. Mr. Rainwater, thank you for coming. I know this is unusual. What's this about? Please, sit down first. I sat. He closed the door and stood at the window with his back to me for a moment. My client is pregnant. The words stuck in the air. I couldn't breathe. What? Mrs. Rainwater is about 12 weeks along. That means the pregnancy started in mid-February, around the time she first thought you knew about the missing money. I thought back. February. The night after I'd mentioned the Grand Hotel, and her hand shook as she poured wine. The night she asked if I still loved her, and I lied. The night we were together for the first time in weeks. She was scared and holding on tight. She got pregnant on purpose, I said flatly, to keep me from leaving, to keep me quiet. The lawyer turned around. That's what I thought too. But she says it was an accident. Unplanned. I don't believe that. Nora plans everything carefully. Either way, the child is there, and she wanted you to know before this comes out in court. She asks if you'll take a paternity test. I laughed, but it came out broken and bitter. She wants proof it's mine so she can use the pregnancy to change the custody fight, so she can play the victim, the single mother left behind by the heartless husband. That's possible. That's why I advise you to get your own test. Independent, from a trusted lab. Something she can't tamper with, like a hair sample or toothbrush. And if it's not mine, then you can argue against any money you'd have to pay and move on with the divorce. If it is yours, you'll need to decide what to do about your rights and responsibilities. I stood and looked out at the streets below. People rushing by, living their normal lives, while mine kept falling apart. I'll do the test, I said quietly, but through my own lab. And I want the results kept private until the trial is done. I won't let her use this to get sympathy. Fair enough? I'll tell her. I left the office and drove straight to Sandra's. I didn't make an appointment. She saw my face and closed her door. What happened? Nora's pregnant, 12 weeks along, or just when I was getting close to her. She wants a paternity test. Sandra's face got serious. God, she did this as a safety net. That's what I think. But I need to know if the child is even mine. We can get a court-ordered test, but it takes weeks, and it'll be public. Or you can do it privately. I know a lab that does fast, quiet, and reliable tests. Set it up. I want the answers in 48 hours. She made the call while I sat there, trying to take it all in. Another child. Maybe the baby was mine. Maybe it wasn't. Created as a way to control me. One more trick Nora used to keep power. I thought about Maya. She'd asked if she would have a little brother or sister someday. I said, maybe, pumpkin, someday, without knowing it might happen this way. If the baby was mine, I'd have 2 children to care for, 2 futures to build. If not, then Nora's last plan failed, and I could leave it behind. Either way, I had to find out. The DNA test happened the next morning. I met with a lab worker at a coffee shop. She took some hair from my brush, sealed it carefully, and wrote everything down. She was professional and calm. Results in 2 days, she said. We will call you first and then send the full report by email. I asked, what if she tries to change the sample on her side? She explained, each side collects samples independently. She can't change yours, and you can't change hers. We keep track the entire time. The results will be official and can be used in court. At home, I told Maya I had a headache and needed to rest. She gently patted my head, like I was the child. It's okay, Daddy. Headaches go away. You just need to rest. I lay in the dark, thinking about Nora's words in court. She said she was broken, that she needed to matter. Was this pregnancy just another sign of that brokenness? Or something else? Or something human beneath the games? I didn't know, but a part of me still hoped she could change, and I hated that. 2 days later, exactly at 10 a.m., my phone rang. I was in the workshop, sanding a new table. Maya was at school. The house was quiet. Mr. Rainwater, this is Dr. Kenji Tanaka from Precision Genetics Lab. I have the paternity results. My hand stopped on the sander. And? The chance that you are the father is 99.97%. You are the biological parent. I sat down hard on the workshop floor. Are you sure? Yes, sir. The markers matched perfectly. No doubt. The child is yours. Thank you. I hung up and sat there for a long time, just breathing. Mine. The baby was mine. That meant I was going to be a father again. To a child born in lies and pain. A child Nora had used as a tool. A child who did not ask to be part of this mix. I called Sandra. It's mine. The baby is mine. Okay. That changes the legal side. You'll have rights and duties no matter what happens in the criminal case. We will need to add that to the divorce process. What about custody when the baby comes? That depends if Nora is in prison or not. If she is convicted, you'd probably get full custody of both kids. If not, or if she has a light sentence, we'll have to work out a plan including the baby. Wow. I know, but we can handle that later. For now, focus on Maya. The baby is not due until October. We have time. Time. Yes. Time to accept that I was going to have 2 kids. Time to find a way to explain this to Maya. Time to imagine a bigger home in my mind. That night, Nora called. It was the first time she'd called me since the court hearing. Eli, I heard you got the results. Yeah, it's mine. Silence. Then, quietly, I wasn't sure you would believe it. I thought you'd think I had messed with the test. I used a separate lab. We kept everything official. No way it could be changed. It's yours and mine. I know you probably think I planned this. To trap you. To control everything. Maybe a part of me did. Maybe deep down I thought having another baby would fix things, but Eli, I swear it wasn't planned. I wasn't trying to get pregnant. It just happened. You can't do this, I said, my voice firm. You don't get to act like the victim now. You ruined my career. You lied to me for 5 years. You tried to take Maya away from me. You caused this whole mess. And now you want me to believe the pregnancy was an accident? No, I don't believe that. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I know I don't deserve it. I just want you to believe that I didn't plan this. That I'm as scared as you are about having a baby in the middle of all this. You should be scared. Because if you go away, I'm raising that baby alone. And they will grow up knowing what their mother did. She began to cry. Real, raw crying. I don't want to go away, Eli. I don't want to lose my children or everything. I know I deserve it. But I don't want it. Then you should have thought about that 5 years ago before you ruined my life to feed your pride. I hung up. I sat on the edge of my bed and put my head in my hands. 2 kids. One loved me no matter what. One hadn't been born yet, but would grow up under the weight of all this. I thought about Peter Harmon, the architect who had ended his life because of what Nora and Vance did. I thought about all the other careers broken, the other families torn apart, and I thought about the baby, innocent, unaware, growing inside a woman who had used the situation to manipulate but was now facing the results. I had shown Nora what she did to me. I made her feel some of the pain and loss of control. But now, another child was involved. I had to think about both of them, Maya and the baby, even if it meant being softer toward Nora than I wanted. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. Mr. Rainwater, this is Special Agent Linda Torres with the FBI's white-collar crime unit. I need to talk to you about Vance Morrison. My stomach tightened. What about him? He left the country 3 days ago, flew to Mexico City. We had a warrant for his arrest based on what he said in your custody case, but he left before we could find him. Do you know where he might be or where he's going? No. Last I saw him was in court. He spoke against my wife and then disappeared. Did he talk about backup plans? Places he might try if things went bad? I remembered that rainy night in the motel parking lot, the secret messages I had seen. He mentioned Europe, said he had contacts there, old clients from his architect days. But I don't know more. All right. If he reaches out to you, call me right away. He's now running from the law, and his testimony is very important for our case against your wife. She hung up. I sat there thinking. Vance had run again, just like years ago. But this time, he left behind a recorded confession Nora couldn't deny or hide. The pieces were falling into place one by one. That same afternoon, Nora's firm officially let her go. Not suspended anymore. Fired. They sent out a statement about keeping the highest ethical standards and not allowing misconduct. That evening, Nora's mother called me. It was the first time we talked since the custody hearing. Eli, I know you hate my daughter, And I know she's caused a lot of pain. But please don't let her go away. Think about the baby. Think about Maya. They need their mother. Their mother should have thought about them before she made these choices and ruined many lives, Carol. I know. You're right. But please, for the kids, give her some kindness. I gave her 5 years of kindness while she slowly destroyed me. I'm done being kind. I hung up, but her words stayed with me. Think about the children. I was thinking about them all the time. That's all I could think about. Yet I still didn't know what to do. The court hearing was set for August. Nora admitted she was guilty of stealing money and lying. She took a deal. 3 years in a low-security prison, with credit for the time she already spent and a chance to get out early if she behaved well. The baby was due in October, 2 months after she would start her sentence. The judge let her stay out until after the baby was born. She had house arrest, wore an ankle monitor, and checked in every week. But at least she could be there for the birth. I sat in the courtroom and listened as she spoke to the court. She apologized to everyone, the court, the people she hurt, her old co-workers, and me. I hurt good people because I was broken inside, she said, her voice shaking. I hurt my husband because I couldn't handle him doing better than me. I made up lies to cover my fears. I'm sorry. To everyone. I am very sorry. The judge wasn't moved. Mrs. Rainwater, you hurt many people to satisfy yourself. You showed no real regret until you were caught. You even tried to make your husband believe he was not well in his mind. You used your child in your custody battles. And you had another child during your crimes. I see no excuse here, only punishment that you deserve. 3 years. It could have been 10. But the prosecutor accepted the deal because Vance was still missing, and they needed her help to find him if he ever came back. We divorced officially in September. It was simple and quick. I got primary custody of Maya. We shared custody of the baby once he was born. But that depended on Nora's time in prison. I got the house. She got nothing except supervised visits after she was out. Sandra handled the paperwork. It was done in 2 days. 9 years of marriage, over. Maya took it better than I expected. Or maybe she was just glad the fighting had ended. One night during our pancake routine, she asked, "Does this mean Mommy won't be sad and angry all the time anymore?" I don't know, Pumpkin. Maybe. Mommy needs time to work on herself, to understand why she did those things. But you'll still get to see her, and she still cares about you. Do you still love Mommy? I thought about that a lot. I love the person I thought she was, I said at last. But that person wasn't real. So no, I don't love who she really is. Does that make sense? Maya nodded. Like when I thought my stuffed bunny was magic, but then I found out it was just a toy? Yeah, kind of like that. She finished her pancakes. I'm glad you're my daddy, Daddy. I'm glad you're my daughter, Maya. The baby was born on October 15th. A boy. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, healthy. Perfect. I was there at the hospital. Nora wanted me there, and the lawyers said it would help for custody matters. So I stood in the delivery room and watched my second child come into the world, while his mother cried and held my hand like she needed me. I'm so sorry, Eli, she whispered after the baby was placed on her chest. I'm so sorry for everything. I looked at the baby, this tiny person who didn't ask to be born into this mess, who would grow up with a mother in prison and a father who had spent the last year fighting with her. What will you name him? I asked. I don't know. Maybe you can name him, since I won't be here to watch him grow. I thought about it, the names, the meaning, and a fresh start. Noah, I said, for new beginnings, for surviving the flood. She smiled through her tears. Noah, that's perfect. I held my son for the first time. He was so small, so fragile, so unaware of the troubles that came before he arrived. Hey, little man, I whispered. I'm your dad, and I promise you something right now. You will grow up knowing the truth. About your mom, about what happened, about everything. But you will also grow up loved, safe, in a home with a strong foundation. I am building that home for you and your sister, and this time I'm doing it right. Nora went to prison 3 days later. Maya and I visited once a month. The visits were short, watched over carefully, awkward at times, but Maya was strong. She asked questions and I always told her the truth. She drew pictures of families with 3 or 4 people, houses with firm foundations, and stick figures holding hands. Noah stayed with me all the time. I hired a helper for the first few months while I learned how to care for a newborn and a 6-year-old at the same time. But I managed, because I had to. They needed me. Slowly, over the next year, I began to feel like myself again. Not the broken man staying home and making furniture outside. Not the angry husband trying to get back at his wife. Just me, Eli Rainwater, architect, father, survivor. I started taking small design jobs. At first, little projects like an addition to a house for an old friend who still trusted me. Then a small renovation for a business. Then more. People began to talk. Eli Rainwater is back. He's as good as he ever was. Maybe even better. I built a new collection of work, entered some contests, won a few. Then one morning in March, 2 years after everything broke apart, I got a call from a big firm in Seattle. Mr. Rainwater, we've seen your recent work. We want to talk to you about a top architect job. Full benefits, good pay, and we can work with your schedule so you can still be there for your children. I took the meeting, got the offer, said yes, told Maya we would be moving to Seattle. She cried at first because she would miss Emma and her friends from school. But then she became excited about seeing mountains, fairies, and living in a new home. Will the new house have a strong foundation, Daddy? The strongest foundation ever, Pumpkin. I'm designing it myself. We moved in June to a house I had been designing for 18 months. Every line, every room, every small part. 3 bedrooms. 1 for me, 1 for Maya, 1 for Noah. A kitchen with big windows looking out over Puget Sound. A separate workshop where I could build furniture, Maya could draw, and Noah could play when he got older. A living room with a fireplace and plenty of space for all of us to be together. And a foundation. A real foundation. Strong. Honest. Made to last. The oak table came with us. The one I had been sanding for 5 years. I put it in my new workshop. Perfect, smooth, and true. Sometimes, after the kids were asleep, I would stand there and run my hand over the surface, feeling the grain, remembering the rain, the motel parking lot, Nora's cold face in the mirror, the moment I knew she had changed my life forever. Remembering Maya's drawings, the stick figures, the broken foundations, the words, Mommy's Secrets, written in crayon. Remembering the mirror I built, the cameras, the careful way I took back control. Remembering Noah's birth, his tiny hands, and the promise I made to build him a better life. And remembering standing in that courtroom when the judge said, primary custody goes to Mr. Rainwater. The moment I got myself back. Nora was let out of prison the next July after serving 22 months. She had good behavior and was seen as a model inmate. She moved to Portland and got a simple job with a small nonprofit. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. Just honest work. She saw the kids every other weekend. At first, she was watched by someone else, but slowly, she was trusted to be alone with them as she showed she was steady. Maya was careful around her, but still nice. Noah didn't remember her from before, so to him, she was just Mommy who lives far away. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. It was real, built on truth, not lies. One Saturday in September, Nora came to Seattle to pick up the kids for her weekend. It was her first time at the new house. She stood in the driveway looking at it for a long while, the strong shapes, the firm walls, the clear care I put into every part. You built this, she said, not asking, just saying. Yes, I built this. It's beautiful, Eli. Really beautiful. Thanks. Maya ran out carrying her overnight bag. Noah followed her slowly, still a little wobbly on his 2-year-old legs. They hugged Nora and climbed into her car. Before she got in, Nora turned back to look at me. I'm glad you found your way back to architecture. I'm glad you're designing again. This was always your path. I know. I'm sorry. I tried to take that away from you. I know. She got in the car and drove away with our children. I stood in my driveway and watched them leave. I felt nothing but peace. The mirror had done its job. Nora had to face what she had caused. She lost her job, her freedom, her marriage, her power, her control. And by losing all those things, she had to see herself clearly. Maybe that was enough. Maybe that was kindness, after all. I went back inside, walked through the house I had designed and built, through rooms full of my children's laughter, toys, art, and life, through a home with a strong base that nothing could break. I stopped in the workshop, ran my hand over the oak tabletop one more time, felt the smooth finish of 5 years of careful work. I whispered the words that had become my truth, my identity restored. I built this one right. So there you have it. Eli Rainwater's story, from a broken architect to a rebuilt father. From someone hurt by lies to a person who found truth. From a man lost in someone else's falsehoods to a man who built life on honest ground. If Eli's story touched you, if you felt his anger, his sadness, his slow return to strength, please think about subscribing to Infidelity Director. We share stories about betrayal, healing, and the tricky truth between pain and victory. Now, I'm curious. What do you think about the people in this story? Was Eli right to use his mirror tactics, or did he become like what he was fighting? Did Nora's truth and her time away mean she changed, or just faced what was coming? And what about Maya and Noah? Do you think they will grow up better knowing the messy truth, or if they had lived in a nicer lie? Please share your thoughts below. I really want to know what you think. Thank you for joining this journey by watching or listening. Here's what I hope you take with you. Truth, even when it hurts, makes stronger ground than easy lies ever can. Eli spent 5 years living with fake shame before he found out who really caused his fall. But when he chose facts over ignoring them, proof over feelings, plans over anger, that's when he began building something that lasts. You don't have to be an architect to get this. Whatever you build in life, a job, a family, who you are, make sure it's built on what's real. Because anything made from lies, no matter how nice it looks, will crack under its own weight. Eli learned that the hard way. He also found out that the strongest way to get back is not by breaking things or fighting. Sometimes it means choosing not to hold on to someone else's faults or mistakes. That is an important lesson to keep in mind.